Here we go now.
I know you're probably tired of hearing people say, new year, new me. However, it can be a new year and a new you. Everyone is trying to get back into the gym. They're trying to do some weight loss things. You may have also heard of GLP-1s. Well, our friends over at RHOP has gotten you covered with the new GLP-1 pill. The pill is a new, more convenient and approachable way to GLP-1s if you've been thinking about it. A self-administered shot can be a bit intimidating. But now there's a pill that delivers comparable results. If you've been thinking about getting on a GLP-1, RHOP might be the way to do it. They have 100% online care, access to clinically proven, FDA-approved medications, free insurance checks, side effects management, dosing support, and more. RHOP offers the first FDA-approved GLP-1 pill for weight loss at the lowest cost around. The new GLP-1 pill has the same weight loss ingredient as the shot and packs comparable results to the shot. It can help patients lose 14% of their body weight in a year on average. This is based on a study in non-diabetics with obesity or overweight plus a weight-related condition with diet and exercise. You may have also seen Serena Williams talk about collaborating and endorsing RHOP as well. As a world-class athlete, she also wanted to drop pounds after having children. If I had needed this particular option, this is what I would use. A pill versus a shot, why not? Go to ro.co/Kempire to see if you're eligible for the new GLP-1 pill on RHOP. That's ro.co/Kempire to get started on RHOP. Go to ro.co/safety for box warning and full safety information about GLP-1 medication. More details on your discount and more will be available in the description. Happy Monday. I feel so good. Anyone else? Maybe because it's over. It's finally over. If you guys had to rate this week's episode of Real Housewives of Potomac. First of all, can y'all hear me, see me? I don't know why. Oh, because I don't have my headset in. So I'm sort of like, can y'all hear me, see me, do all the things? It is a members only live chat. So shout out to our members. We do this at least once a month. I will promise this month, because it is a long month, we'll do just a members only live, which we did not last month, but in January we did a members only live. And we did sort of like a tarot reading. I'm not going to say that we're going to do that again, but we'll do something different just for members. Become a member today at teamkempire.com/join. Shout out to our King's Guard. Shout out to our channel members. This is our final recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac for season 10. If you had to rate the season from 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you had to rate the reunion, part 1, part 2, part 3 for 1 to 10, how would you rate it? And how would you rate part 3 of the reunion? I know that's a lot of ratings. That's a lot of ratings, but let me answer my own question. How would I rate the season overall? I always have to grade, especially after the terrible season that Real Housewives of New York had, which we'll be filming soon. Sidebar, just saying. I always have to rate Real Housewives now on a curve because of how bad that season was. So I think the first number that comes to mind when it comes to the season as a whole is a 7, which is not bad. That is not bad. Would I go back and watch this season? I don't think so, but I'm saying that now after just literally finishing watching it, but I don't know. Maybe in a few years I will. Huh? Well, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. OMG, Mr. Mel and the Magic has a new profile picture. And all I see is forehead. That's all I see. You can only imagine whose forehead he's using. Oh, Ashley. Oh, Ashley. All right. So overall, I would give season 10 a 7. Okay. The reunion, part 1, part 2, and part 3, I'm going to give that a 7 too. No, I'm going to give it better than that. I'm going to give it an 8 because I do feel like the reunion covered a lot. They briefly talked about that Colorado trip, but that Colorado trip felt like it was forever, that I thought they would be talking about that for longer than 3 minutes. It was 3 minutes. Okay, I didn't count technically, but it was definitely not a full segment. It was longer than Jazelle's no package plan thing. Suzanne says, I give the season a 6.5, reunion 7.5. I could see that. I think that's fair too. I could see that. So I would give the season a 7. I would give the reunion as a whole an 8. I would give part 3 a 6.5. I felt like part 3 felt a little chopped and screwed. It didn't, I don't know. The reunion overall felt a little chopped and screwed with how they addressed it. At the top of the reunion, they talked about Wendy's legal trouble. Then they revisited it at the end. I get why they did that, to kind of really drag out and take advantage of this as a storyline. So I understand why they did it. Karen, for me though, y'all, how did you feel about Karen? Remember I said, I think once you guys see Karen on your TV screens, you might feel a little bit differently about Karen coming back or not. I actually feel differently now that I've watched it. And I was sort of like, I kind of miss seeing Karen on the TV screen. But I also feel like I don't want to see Karen after this. Hear me out. We'll talk about it. There's a lot that I want to say, okay? But before we do that, don't forget to like the video. It's easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. I will be twerking on a fence. Maybe not. I don't know. You see the merch? Head on over to houseofkempire.com. There's Are You Okay merches. Are you okay? I haven't done that in a while. I need to do that for someone. Who needs it? Karen, are you okay? She's not. Patricia says Karen was a flop for me. I actually was a little surprised. I don't know why I was surprised, but I was a little surprised at how I felt about Karen during part 3 of the reunion. It didn't feel like the grand return. It didn't feel like, oh, I miss Karen. It reminded me, because I know some people probably think that I've forgotten, Karen's history over the last 10 years, the lack of accountability, the lack of reading the room, the hoity-toity aspect of her. I literally posted a tweet that went viral on X last night that I don't like how I feel like Karen's coming in on her high horse. You didn't even show up to the reunion last season, Karen. You can't sit here and give advice to anybody about anything. And you are an easy read. I think they're giving you grace, but I hope next season that they don't. But I have thoughts about it because I don't think Karen should return next season. What? And it's not because she hasn't shown accountability. It's not because I feel like she should be punished. No, I think for Karen's own good, she should not come back this season. I said this when we were covering the trial and we were covering her charges and things like that. I said that back then, especially what we saw in that arrest footage. Karen's biggest addiction is the fame. Karen's biggest issue that she needs sobriety from is everyone's attention and her ego. Karen needs to be in therapy. And I think if she is not to come back next season, because I already told you, I feel like this about Katie. I pray for Katie. Can we all take a moment for Katie and just pray for her? Her life is in shambles. And you guys keep asking for her to come back. And I'm like, no, this is not a space for anyone to heal, that's trying to be, sober. And I feel the same for Karen. but it's not necessarily just about Karen's drinking. I wish Karen the best. However, I feel like Karen's not ready. I really do. And I'm not an expert. I'm already going to say this because I already know the Karen stands. I don't care. All the Karen stands are going to be like, we want Karen back. Karen has shown accountability. I'm happy for Karen. But if you really want Karen to be her best and to really get over what she's getting over, then you would want her to take another season off. Karen should take another season off. She should be put on timeout. She should be put on timeout. Okay, Singer DST says, I agree too, Kempire. I think she should set out for a few seasons for her own health. I might even say a few seasons, at least this next season. No, because what I saw, and I wish her the best, but I don't see good things happening for her because I don't feel like she is I still don't think she's in the best place. I still think she is living this, levels of grandeur in her head. And that's going to make her think that she is okay around certain situations. And she's just going to set herself up to fail. And I'm not an addiction expert, but all the addiction experts, please weigh in. We've had people call in before. But that's how I felt at the end of this reunion. I said, oh, no, Karen needs a season off, at least a season off. Mind you, she's on probation. She can't drive for the next year. Karen needs a season off so she can really lean in to her sobriety. That's just my thought. I'm not the expert here. We already know what Bravo's going to do. And that's why I always say these people aren't looking out for you. And I'm not saying that they don't care about Karen. But you know what they care about more? Ratings, money, securing this storyline. And I know some people say, well, this is real. You want to document this. You want to document someone's reality even at their own expense. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need to see this. If I really want to see someone making it through sobriety and addiction, I can watch a documentary where someone's really, truly doing that. And it's really, truly invested in doing that. I don't believe that for Karen. I don't think Karen's ready. Karen, like someone called in before and said, Karen acts like she was anointed to go to jail. No, Karen is not ready, but that is my opinion, okay? I am not an accountability expert. I am not an addiction expert, but based on my review on my channel of almost 600,000 viewers, subscribers, I will say what I want. If you're new here, let me know. Let me know how you've been watching, guys. Shout out to everyone listening in the chat. I appreciate you all being here. Keep liking the video. We already have over 1,100 of you here. We haven't even gotten into the part 3 of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion, but we will. I had a good breakfast. I had a slice of sourdough bread with 3 eggs scrambled. I made myself. So good. Hit the spot. Okay. It hit the spot. But anyway, as I was watching, see, I'm working and eating breakfast and preparing breakfast. As I was working, rewatching, I literally started to rewatch the reunion again for a 3rd time before coming live. But here we are. Shout out to all the members. This is the members only live chat. I see you guys. Shout out to our King's Guards. Be sure to thank them as well. All right. But before we start, as I said to you guys before, I just got word that the numbers for our live show, New York City, this is our only live show planned for 2026. It's happening here in New York City at the Green Room 42. Have you gotten your tickets yet? What are you waiting on? Huh? What are you waiting on? This is the only show, and this is why I love this particular venue, that has a live stream option. So this is your opportunity, even if you can't come to New York, or you are coming to New York and you're just like, you know what? Sometimes when you're in the moment, you forget everything that was said. I want to be able to watch this come Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay? You get to keep it for 1 week after the show, but you have to buy your tickets today. Ticket information on the Kempire After Dark, a live show in New York City. The villain era continues. Hosted by our friend Taria Faison from the What Else Is Going On podcast, who was also on the ground during Ashley's interviews last night in DC. Okay? She also has a lot of information on the Wendy Acefo situation. She's going to the hearing. She's been going to the hearings, but there's a lot of information that has fallen into her lap about Wendy, and she's exclusively going to share them at the Kempire After Dark live show. Well, she already told me, but I can't wait for her to tell y'all. Okay? I'll be spilling tea. You'll be spilling tea. Get your questions together, guys. You know this show goes so quickly. New York, make sure you have your questions ready. Maybe you need to write them down from now so you don't forget. But you get one question. Make it good. All right? Make it juicy. And if you got tea, make it even juicier. All right? Dita Stallion says, I'm hungry. I'm still fasting. I used to fast, like the intermittent fasting. That's actually, they say it's, supposed to be very good for you. I used to do that. All right. Leah says, Ashley had a press conference? Not really. It was sort of like a watch party. Shout out to our friends over at Reality Rundown. They hosted it in DC, and she was the special guest. I was like, that's a choice. But look, she is an OG. She is an OG. For now. For now. Miss Bernice. Hey, Miss Bernice. Miss Bernice from the Detroit. Did you see Kenya's live over the weekend, Miss Bernice? Okay, just asking. What up, though? Miss Bernice is celebrating 45 months of being a member. She says Karen was sitting up there looking like a... Damn, I should always pre-read Miss Bernice's comments. She says, looking like a drunk grandma trying to hold respect from the family as family she has lost. Ooh. Thanks, Miss Bernice. I'm sure you'll be calling in later, right? Okay. All right. But yeah. All right. I will say this though, guys. I want us to be respectful because I do feel like there are people that have gone through what Karen has gone through. So when you call someone a drunk, I think it's triggering to them. So out of respect for the people that have made it through, because I feel like people have said that about them or still say those things about them. So let's just be respectful of those people that have gone through it. Miss Parker says, just got my live stream ticket. Thank you, Miss Parker. Yes, guys, get your ticket. Ticket information will be available in the description. We're going to get into this recap, but I do want to say thank you to Miyago for the super sticker. We appreciate your support, saying you're my number one. Thank you. Patricia from New York. Patricia, you come to the show? Thank you so much for the super chat, Patricia. I was stopped by a woman in the streets of New York the other day. So I told you, if I see y'all in New York and y'all stop me, I'm going to ask, are you coming to the show? And she was just sort of like, I was like, you better come to the show. Tamika, thank you so much for the super chat. Tamika says, do you think Cookie is trying to set up Stacy with this story of her with Monique and her kids situation? Well, you know what? I do have another Cookie story, but I'm going to save that for the live show on March 13th. It's so interesting that you say that. I do, and I do have thoughts, Tamika, and I'm going to talk about that here because I do feel like Kiarna keeps telling on herself. Because that's how the reunion starts. But we're going to get there. Amy, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Amy says, Wendy was talking too much. I was yelling at the screen. Shut up. Please stop talking. Me too, Amy. That is my exact tweet. I was like, you're saying too much. But until I saw it play out. And if you've been following the case and you've been following our channel covering the case, none of what she said necessarily was brand new. A lot of what she said really has been said already in court. But I still, just in case you may say a word wrong, I felt like she was saying a little too much. I thought she was going to say, I can't talk about this because it's an active case. But for producers, they loved it, I'm sure. They loved it. Thank you so much for the super chat. Orange Sorbet, thank you so much. He says, Orange says, Kemp, hey, what up, though? I just got my ticket. I will see you live and in person? You only had 2 tickets available when I purchased my golden ticket. No, that's not true. I think the particular section that you wanted only had 2 tickets. We're not sold out yet, but we're getting there. So if you've been waiting to get your ticket, go get your tickets today. But when we do sell out, there's still a live stream ticket, okay? There's still a live stream ticket. Or so I think the section that you probably want is almost sold out. That's probably what. Aren't so bad. I'll see you on March 13th. Thank you so much for the super chat. Miss Nubian, beautiful, beautiful Miss Nubian, beautiful smile. Miss Nubian says her excuse for why she's going to keep the Grand Dame title was BS. She never intended to let it go. Didn't we all kind of get that feeling though when she said that in her video from the last reunion? Miss Melon Magic, this photo. Mr. Melon Magic has a photo of Ashley Darby, but he's zoomed in so you can't really see nothing but Ashley's eyes and forehead. So bad. Mr. Melon Magic says, sisterhood of the sliding wig needs to be humbled. She did say at the end of this reunion that she was going to try and be more of a sister. Kiarna, damn girl. Kiarna, I thought Shamia's reunion was really bad, and it was. But I said to myself, Shamia walked so that Kiarna could run. Because this reunion for Kiarna was horrendous. Horrendous. Kendra, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Kendra says, you have 2 gifts coming that can be part of the lot. Oh, so that means I need to go check my let me know, Kendra, when I need to go check the because you know I got a plot and plan when I go to check the P.O. box. Okay. Tears of Joy says that Kay went down bad. Yeah, she did. All right, so let me get into my notes. I didn't even get into my notes yet, but you know how the reunion ended last week, and that was with Monique saying that she has information, and she says you probably are not going to be able to share this because we found out from Ashley at the Reality TV Rundown, a special event yesterday. It was one of her kids that was on the phone. So it's a minor. But here's the thing. I get it that they thought this was going to be some smoking gun. I get why production decided probably to leave it in. But it doesn't land. And I'm not a Stacy stan. I know there are the people that can never see that Stacy does anything wrong. But I'm not one of those people. And I just feel like they've been coming for Stacy every which way. And look, they may have been right. Maybe everything that they said about Stacy was correct. But none of it has landed. None of it has been proven. You guys have come for Stacy so many times throughout the season, and they have all fallen flat. At some point, you need to give it up. For season 11, y'all better give it up. You guys have tried to make Stacy out to be a liar, and I'm not saying that she's not a liar, but you guys have fallen flat every single time. And this information about Monique that she's bringing that we couldn't even hear, all we hear is this. I counted for like 25 seconds. For 25 seconds, that's all you hear because you can't hear her child talking about, and I got to play the clip. Shout out to Carlos Harris on X. This is where I got it from because you know what we do here. We cite our sources, okay? This is what apparently Ashley says happens. You know it's Ashley, but I do want to just mention that, okay?
I'm just asking what you heard, honey.
Okay, so what we heard on that recording was essentially that
this is from last night here, not here, but in DC from the Reality TV Rundown event.
there's been confirmation from one of Monique's children that he or she, because she has a daughter and 2 sons, someone had heard their father speaking to someone and asked, "Who is Stacy?" Mind you, they have no idea what the show is going on.
Right.
They don't have any idea of all of that, but somehow they have heard this name and asked Monique about it.
So we're to believe because they heard Stacy's name. For all we know, that still doesn't prove that Stacy is the one that told Chris that Monique was filming and talking about him. So the kids heard Stacy's name? That's the proof? That doesn't prove anything. Let me play it again.
What we heard on that recording was essentially that there had been confirmation from one of Monique's children that he or she, because she has a daughter and two sons, someone had heard their father speaking to someone and asked, "Who is Stacy?" Mind you, they have no idea what the show is going on.
Right.
They don't have any idea of all of that, but somehow they had heard this name and asked Monique about it. And unfortunately, there's a lot of legality right now with what Monique is going through, so she couldn't share it, which really sucks. But when we all heard it, when I tell you jaws were on the floor, baby, jaws were on the floor. Okay?
My jaw was on the floor.
Right?
I don't think it lands the way they think that it lands. Dion says, that proves nothing. I agree. Y'all should have let that go. Production, y'all should have left that out. Y'all could have left that out. Hey, Melissa, watching on Facebook. Make sure you guys are following us on Facebook, too. We've been actually posting exclusive videos there before they end up anywhere else. So be sure to check us out on Facebook, Kempire on Facebook. Look, so then they get into this. Everyone's reacting like, oh my gosh, oh my. No one on this cast likes Stacy, okay? Wendy and Stacy have an alliance. I think eventually that could turn into a friendship, but right now they have an alliance. Andy decides, he's like, I'm paying attention to everyone's body language, and it seems as if, and this was a very leading question, he says, and it seems as if, Wendy, you're waiting for Stacy to confess. And I'm glad, I'm glad Wendy said that. I'm not waiting for Stacy to confess, but I feel like the tides are turning. Where she feels, I think what she's saying is that she feels like the fans might turn on Stacy. They haven't, because this doesn't land, especially when we're listening to this. It doesn't land. All right, so Monique plays this audio. Stacy denies talking about Chris. She's like, why would I do that? You know, I'm not concerned about Chris. I'm concerned about me and my family, my husband. I just went through a divorce. I just went through custody. Why would I do that to you? Oh, Stacy. Vicky says, I'm not a Stacy fan. I'm not a huge Stacy fan either. Okay? But they've tried to come for Stacy so many times and it doesn't land. Mr. Melamash says they should have left it out. Especially because now production, it feels like you guys are trying to catch Stacy in the lie and it doesn't land. Okay. Sir Natty says never. I still like delusional Stacy. Okay, 7 says, Wendy isn't a strong person to align yourself with. She isn't a strong enough personality to pick a side and stay there. Well, I mean, so far it's worked for them. I will have to say, the people that stood out for me and were MVPs of this reunion, definitely Stacy and definitely Wendy. And them aligning themselves together was perfect. For me, if I had to rate their reunion, 10s. Wendy showed up to this reunion, answered the questions. She didn't falter on any questions. She answered all the questions. She looked the best. Same for Stacy. They had a very good season and reunion. Deborah says Stacy is Teflon Don. She really is. She really is. So that is the information. But I already told you when we saw the preview and we went live, we were talking about the preview for this week's final part of the reunion. I said, guys, I don't think this is landing. If this is the big smoking gun, this is not landing the way that you guys think that it's landing. Still. All right. So then Stacy denies it. Monique says that Stacy told her that she was in communication with Chris. So they replayed that scene. But remember in that scene, Stacy says, you see, he's been texting me, but she hasn't responded. So Stacy's saying that she hasn't been in communication. She hasn't talked to Chris. I believe that actually, because she did say in that scene, she's like, but you can see I didn't respond. She says that she didn't respond. Could she have spoke to him on the phone and said stuff? Very possible. But it's not landing for me because I feel like any one of these women, especially because they've been after Stacy this entire season, any one of these women, Kiarna, I felt like told on herself. Kiarna kept on trying to chime in, and Stacy's like, can I finish my thought? She's like, I'm going to let you finish your thought. Did you guys also notice during this hubbub, Kiarna is trying to say stuff like she's like but they can control what we hear. So there are things that are being said under people's breath that they decide to turn the volume up on. But I could hear Kiarna in the background trying to say stuff during this whole conversation. I'm like, they really edited her out. Kiarna, thank you for your services, but no thank you. Actually, I want a refund. I want a refund. Do they get paid if they don't show up at the reunion? DV says no. They actually get a bonus for being at the reunion. So no, they do not get paid if they do not show up to the reunion. So, and again, another reason why I said I felt like you were going to definitely see Wendy there, because I do believe that Wendy needs the money. We're going to talk about that. All right. So Kiarna said that she spoke to Cookie after the Pride event. Okay. I'm going to wait till my live show to tell you what I found out. Get your live stream ticket or get your in-person ticket. I gotta write down all the things that I gotta spill, because some of the stuff that I was ready to spill, I'm still gonna spill, but some of it I already spilled on the Club Kempire podcast. But not everything Club Kempire. I still, exactly. Alessia says, what services? That's why I said I want a refund. I want a refund. Receipts Proofs Timeline says, and Monique believed it, I don't believe Stacy rocked with Chris Samuels for real. I think they probably talked. I think they probably mingled. I don't think that they were sleeping with each other like Jazzy was trying to say. I don't think it even got that far. Do I think that he would want to? Yes. I don't think it got that far, though. I really don't believe it got that far at all. And I know Ashley said that, when she asked Chris about it, he made a face like, oh. He did that because Chris wants us to believe he's that guy. The more that we cover this whole situation, Scorpio Moon says, bought my tickets. See you then. The more that they talk about Chris, I'm starting to realize that Chris is as messy as Cookie, as messy as these other women. So he's not a reliable source either. But that's me. All right, let's move on, because I don't want to look. We have our live at 3 p.m. for 3 p.m. Eastern for Married to Medicine. So stay tuned for that. All right. Moving on from that. So Kiarna says she spoke to Cookie. Okay. As soon as she said that, I was like, so why do we believe that Stacy's the only person that could possibly have brought this information back? I already told you. Sorry, Grace. Grace was there. Cal was there. Ashley's friend was there. Kiarna keeps talking about how she had a conversation with Cookie. How do we know? We don't. I'm not saying that she necessarily did, but how do we know Kiarna didn't divulge what was said to Cookie, and Cookie didn't run and tell that? How do we know that? We don't. Y'all need to let this go. And Monique, very much like the backside of your dress, that receipt fell flat. It fell flat. Oh, what a flop this season you were. Flop. At the very least, you could have came to the reunion being gorgeous and looking gorgeous. That's the very least you could have done. Okay? Angel, you're a mess. Angel says, Kempire, if you need a volunteer to put together a nice PDF or PowerPoint of your notes. Angel just wants the information. Angel just wants to know what I know. Wouldn't you like? I mean, I would appreciate a PDF, but no. All right. Let's move on from there. So Kiarna mentions that, then Kiarna keeps going, and then they mute her. Go back and pay attention. You will hear Kiarna in the background. So Andy asked Wendy about why she's reacting the way she's reacting, and Wendy just basically said, I just feel like the tides are turning. All right. So then they start talking about their cast trip. Or their cast trips. They talked about Nevis. They also talk about the Colorado trip, okay? Jazelle says that she doesn't apologize for not putting a name on Stacy's robe, but she does apologize for giving her a size large. Here's the thing. I said this during our recap of the Nevis trip. I think that Jazelle really lost an opportunity here. Stacy could have been her Karen for the season, where she doesn't have to like Stacy, but they could have played off each other. And she just came across mean. She just came across like she doesn't like doesn't like Stacy, like genuinely, and you would do anything that would go against her. It wasn't playful banter. I wish you would have done more playful banter with Stacy, like you did last season. But yeah, that didn't happen. So she doubles down on it. Okay, so someone asked, why does Angel keep putting the group in silent circles? I said, that's a great way to put it. That's a great way to put it, these silent circles, all right? How do you guys feel about Angel and how Angel did? How would you grade Angel's reunion? How would you grade it? I think she did far better than her friend, Kiarna. I do feel like she flopped in some areas, especially when she got chin checked in real time during the reunion. So that's, I got to take away points. I would give Angel's reunion a 6, which isn't bad at all. Okay. Patrick Bobby says breaking news. Patrick Bobby. Patrick Bobby, see you on March 13th. She says breaking news. Jazelle does not have to like Stacy. I'm not saying that she does. What I'm saying is, for the audience's sake, she could make it playful. Do we really believe that Jazelle likes Karen? She doesn't. Do we really believe that Wendy likes Jazelle likes Wendy? She doesn't. But she does certain things that are good for the show. And watch her do a whole change for next season. Shout out to production. Hey, Lorraine. Lorraine's probably like, can he see me? No, Lorraine, calm down. But I know you watch, Lorraine. Okay. Mr. Melon Magic says that I think James Earl Jones did okay considering Klarna did it too. Okay. Ateka says, who's watching on Twitch? Shout out to everyone watching on Twitch. Be sure to follow me, guys. Twitch.tv/Kempire, TheKempire. Ateka says, breaking news, Jazelle likes no one. No, she likes her kids. That's about it. That's about it. But some of y'all like that too. Some of you just like your kids, which is fine. Okay. Singer DST says Jazelle only likes herself and her kids. That's about it. Exactly. Superstar 7 says, why is Jazelle on the show if she doesn't like anybody? Because she wants that money. It's an easy job for her. And let's talk about it. The fact that Jazelle did not have a package is just confirmation. She had no storyline this season, yet they keep bringing her back. She hasn't had a storyline in forever, but they keep bringing her back. She's clearly a producer's pet. She's an industry plant. Okay? Coco says we know nothing about her. Now, I think in the beginning we were getting to know Jazelle, but there was this particular point where she stopped. Okay, let me move on. So they talk about the Colorado trip very briefly. Very briefly. They do. Hold on. When they start talking about a little bit about the trips, and they were talking about Tia's work event, and they were talking about the singing, they were like, who's the Beyonce of the group? And Ashley raises her hand, and Stacy just kindly pulls her hand down. She's like, you are not the Beyonce of this group, okay? Wendy says, in regards to the potato salad, Stacy's potato salad, she's like, it was good. She's like, I've had worse. And Stacy's like, okay, Wendy, you could stop. You could have stopped right there, okay? You could have stopped right there. Exactly. Singer DSC says Jazelle equals Kyle from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Hey, Houston foodie. All right. So then they end up talking. Tia says that, in regards to her company, which I thought was interesting, she says that, she's sold more than one house because it was a comment that Jazzy made. And then Jazzy says to her, well, now you can take care of your husband. Jazzy. Oh, God, I had such high hopes for Jazzy, but this reunion was sort of like cringy watching her. Okay? It was cringy watching her. I don't know why. Does she know something about Tia's husband that we don't know? Clearly, isn't Tia's husband like a science guy, an engineer or something like that? I didn't understand why is it because he's not making millions of dollars? Like, well, I can't even say the same for your husband because he's not making millions of dollars. You claim he's making millions of dollars, but he's not. Okay, we've had a lot of sportsnistas come into my DMs, people calling in when we were live on TikTok last week, explaining it all. He's probably made like $1 million, but that's before agents, taxes. Hopefully he's paid his taxes. Just so I don't know why you keep coming for Tia. Okay? But all right. So they move on from that, okay? Kiarna says in regards to the trip, she says that a lot of trips have had mishaps. She talked about the mishap that happened during her trip, and she says this happens all the time. Okay, so she doesn't understand why everyone was so hard on Angel. So Jazelle says that her biggest issue with Angel was the fact that she didn't check up on them. She wasn't constantly checking up on them. And she said, look, I will say this, Angel did take accountability for the trip. But we've said countless times that she shouldn't be the only person. But again, during reunion, they're not going to throw production under the bus. But apparently, production's not trying to be thrown under the bus either, because I saw this snippet from an article about the trip from production or from the network. This is what they said, and I quote, not me freezing. Not me freezing, y'all. Oh, Lord. It must be The Wire, because I changed the thing. Okay. I changed the thing. So it's not the thing. It must be The Wire. All right, we'll change it. We'll try it. We were doing good, though. How many weeks? 2? All right. I thought it was the mechanism, but this is how we're testing it out. So now we know it's The Wire. Maybe. I don't even know. Melissa says The Wire's still winning. You know what? I hate y'all. All right. Maisha says Kempire, you is froze. Okay. So no, we'll figure it out. So now I have to change, because remember, it's 2 wires that go into this mechanism for the camera. So now, you know what, Dina Cole? Dina Cole says wire 50, Kemp 0. That's not true, because we've gone how many lives without a wire issue? Okay. Deborah says new wire 1, Kempire 9. Thank you, Deborah. So now we got to figure out which wire it is, which is fine. Okay, let's focus, y'all. Let me get into this. I blame Angel. This is Angel's fault. The same way that you guys are blaming me, I'm gonna blame Angel. Angel is the reason why that froze. Okay. Either side just says that the Wire is the 5th member, basically, right? The Wire is.
I am the 5th member. How about that?
Okay. All right. So, according to this article, this is what production had to say about Angel's trip. They said every year, not just on Potomac, but Housewives in general, if someone is hosting the trip and, quote, owning the trip, it's really on them to take the lead in planning. We love when our cast take ownership of a trip and really put their heart into it. Angel is from the area. She lives there. She has a house there. I know the team really looked to help. This is the network speaking, to help guide in terms of activities and lodging. She really took the lead on this trip. So they're saying that this is on Angel, y'all. Okay. Poppy says that's still your favorite soundbite.
I am the 5th member. How about that?
I miss recapping the escapes. We had some of our best time. Okay, our best times recapping that reality show. Thank you, Austin. Austin says, don't do my camp. He can have a wire issue. He gives us content daily. Them wires are tired. Oh, child. You're probably right, because we really have not had an issue in a minute. So it looks like the network is blaming Angel too. They said every year, not just on Potomac, but Housewives in general, if someone is hosting a trip and owning the trip, it really is on them to take the lead in planning. We love when our cast takes ownership of a trip and really put their heart into it. Angel's from the area. She lives there. She has a house there. I know the team, meaning production, really looked to help guide in terms of activities and lodging. So who booked the lodge? She really took the lead on this trip, very much so, particularly because she and her husband own a luxury travel company as well. The team really did organically rely on them for taking the lead. So they're blaming Angel. Well, damn. Okay, well, damn. Right? Oh, man. Sidebar, Mercury's in retrograde too, y'all. So it could be Mercury retrograde. in regards to the freezing. Okay, just saying, Mercury's in retrograde, right, Nicki Minaj? Mercury's in retrograde. So, just for clarity, this is the network speaking. So when they refer to the team, they're talking about production. Damn. Miss B Wood says, laughing out loud, Angel has fault, but they a lot too. It sounds like they're not trying to take any fault. Way of Keith says, nice picture, Way of Keith. What is that? Way of Keith says, production is weird of being the scapegoat. It's weird? Why did I say that? It's tired of being the scapegoat. Wow. All right. So that I had to bring that update to you guys in regards to that. I was like, oh, that's interesting that they're saying that. Don't y'all think that's interesting? Look, All right. All right, before we move on to when Karen comes out, today's live is brought to you by our friends over at Factor Meals. You know, we're all about eating, period. We love to eat, right? But Factor Meals has you covered no matter what diet plan that you're on. I know it's March, but some of you are still on your grind when it comes to eating right, working out, all the things. So Factor makes it easy. Or maybe you just don't like to cook. Maybe the weather has gotten you just so like, I don't feel like cooking. Or maybe your busy schedule has gotten you like, I don't have time to cook right now. Well, Factor gives you quality meals, a variety of different meals, and you can do it in 2 to 3 minutes. Y'all know me. I can have a Factor meal right before this live, eat it, and be here. And I love the fact that they figure out the proportions for you. Somewhere between the first warm weekend, which is coming, y'all, and realizing short seasons is getting close, eating well stops feeling optional. Factor is how I stopped letting a busy schedule be my excuse. Fully prepared meals designed by dietitians and crafted by chefs, ready in 2 minutes, no planning, no cooking. Quality functional ingredients, including lean proteins, colorful veggies, whole food ingredients, and healthy fats. No refined sugars, no artificial sweeteners, and no refined seed oils. That's important. You get 100 rotating weekly. Why am I stomping my feet? 100 rotating weekly meals to keep things fresh and delicious through winter. Options include high protein, calorie smart, Mediterranean diet, GLP-1 support, and ready to eat salads. Okay? So head to factormeals.com/Kempire50off and use code Kempire50off to get 50% off and free breakfast for a year. Offer only valid for new Factor customers with code and qualifying auto-renewing subscription purchase. Make healthier eating easy with Factor. Information on Factor and your discount will be available in the description or episode notes, okay? Yes, next week, right? Next weekend is daylight savings time. I am so excited. I am so ready. Thank you so much, guys, for 600 likes. Shout out to our King's Guards for holding us down. Shout out to our members for your monthly support. Some of you have been members for 5 years. That's such a long time. Some of you are new members. Some of you are becoming members today. Some of you are watching the replay of this and becoming a member. So thank you. Thank you. Wave Key says it's almost dance hall season. I was just texting Brooke yesterday. I said, Brooke, it's about to be 65 degrees. I got to go get my pom-pom shorts out. I'm ready. I'm so over this weather, okay? Saturday was so beautiful. Oh, Saturday was beautiful. But anyway, let me focus. Let's get back to our recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac Season 10 Reunion Part 3. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know how you would rate the season, how you would rate the Part 1, Part 2, and Part 3 reunion overall, and how you would rate Part 3 of the reunion. Okay? All right. Mr. Melon Magic said, you're not going to miss the snow camp? No. I was walking around yesterday, and I was like, ugh, I can't wait for all the snow is gone. But soon enough, okay? So let's move on. So Karen Huger finally comes out, all right? So they show the group reacting. They show the ladies reacting to Andy's interview with Karen, okay? And they were like, oh, you did such a good job. Jazelle says, she's glad that Karen was taking accountability because she was worried for Karen, because they've been talking about Karen's drinking for years on this show. And Karen has always downplayed it along with everything else, okay? Singer GST says, Kempire, I need to watch your old videos regarding the Escape show. I should rewatch it. It was so good. We had such a good time recapping that show. But anyway, But of course they can't kind of revisit that because the group is, well, not the group is disbanded, but Latasha's not going to be a part of it, probably. She probably would want to be a part of it at this point. All right. So Karen asked the ladies if they've been behaving. So she's coming out there already on her high horse. She's like, have you guys been behaving? And she comes and she sits next to Andy. And then she mentions, like, if someone was sitting in her seat, she was going to sit in Andy's lap. Already, like, see, this is why I feel like Karen needs a little bit of humbling. I feel like she should have been sitting at the end at this particular point because you didn't offer anything at this reunion. You didn't offer anything during the season. So why not? Put her at the end. You're not even a fifth member. You're not even a friend of this season. I'm gonna put you at the end. That's what they should have did. Okay. So she already comes out with this hoity-toity, thing about her with the group, and she's like, "Are you guys behaving?" So Andy does ask her about being the Grand Dame. And she downplays what she said during the last reunion video that she sent in, basically that she was letting go of the Grand Dame. And she says that I've tried to shed it. Let's be clear. I've tried to shed it, but I'm just gonna give the people what they want. Oh, really? She said, I'm just gonna give the people what they want. So she's not shedding the Grand Dame. Okay. So I have to, again, Wendy has been gracious to her. Stacy has been gracious to her. Go roll the tape. These two women have been so gracious to Karen when they really didn't have to be. So Wendy says that she's happy to see Karen on the other side of this. Still gracious, despite how she was treated during the last reunion. Okay? Karen looks around when Andy asks, where are you with Stacy? Stacy's sitting right next to her. So she's just like looking down and she's just like, Karen, I'm right here. Now, those allegations, Karen. Just saying. I thought it was weird too that she was sort of like looking for Stacy. Okay? So she's like, Stacy made me laugh. She's like, Stacy's like, I'm right here. I'm right here. She's like, are you looking for me? So Karen says that Stacy, she asked Stacy whether or not she lied this season. And she brings up, like the last time I checked, you had the fake boyfriend. And now the whole Chris of it all, you dating Chris. Here's the problem. The fact that Karen, who has lied from season 1, like she has not, she's just lucky. And my thing is she's not even lucky. The women have talked about her being inconsistent and lying and not telling her truth over the years. You have no leg to stand on when you've been caught out there in one of the major lies that people have talked about. So you coming at this reunion, looking at Stacy's, mind you, time after time during the season when they try to call her out on a lie, they have fallen flat. Not Stacy. If anything, Stacy has been more vindicated than you ever have been vindicated. You ended up in jail, and still Wendy and Stacy give you grace because they could have easily called you out in this moment. And it was just like, where have I lied? I can count the amount of times that you've lied. I could count the amount. That's what Stacy should have said to Karen. She's like, when have I lied? They have tried to call me out multiple times throughout the season on lies, and they've been proven wrong. They've been talking about your drinking for many years, and we were proven right. Oh, we can't talk about that? We can't talk about that? Just asking. They have given you grace. And if anything, because Karen did watch the season, Karen probably has seen all the interviews that Stacy has done. Stacy has been gracious to Karen. So gracious to Karen, and she didn't have to be. She's been gracious to her. So her coming out there trying to do the pile-on, did you lie this season? Look, I'm just gonna say what I'm not saying that she should say this, but literally, Stacy could have looked at her. Did you drink today? She didn't do that though. She could have turned to her and said to her, Are you admitting that you're an alcoholic today? She didn't do that to her, though. Karen coming out there on some sort of high horse. It's like, ma'am, you just got out of jail. You can't talk to... Come in here with some humility. You just came out of jail at 60 years old. Come in here with some humility. And I'm not even talking about accountability. No. You just got out of jail at your big age of 60-something years old. This didn't happen 20-something years ago. You just got out of prison. Okay? You just got out of it. And you coming at me about alleged lies that have not been proven? Wave Keith says Kempire was ready to go to hell. I was. Kempire After Dark. Kempire After Dark is where I will go to hell. I just don't... And I'm not saying that Stacy is completely innocent. I'm not saying that Stacy has lied, but none of Stacy's lies have been detrimental to any of these people. None of Stacy's lies have been detrimental to these people. And even with the Monique lie, Monique was filming a show that anything that she said about Chris would have been brought up on the show. And she could have said a lot worse. That's up on production. Word on she said a lot worse about Chris during filming, allegedly. But they didn't air it. So... Stacy, you should have went light on Stacy, but I think Karen is intimidated. Very much like Jazelle, very much like Ashley. She's intimidated because Stacy has come in as a fan favorite. A lot of times what they're fighting about, guys, is not what they're saying. They're fighting about the show. They're fighting about what is being said about them on the show. She wants to come in as the grande dame. She's like, I'm not letting that go. She's just like, and mind you, Stacy's confused because she's probably not expecting this type of energy from Karen. And she's like, I guess I know where we're at. And she's like, well, no, this line of questioning shouldn't be the decision on where we're at. But she was just like, are you going to be honest? I need you to be honest. Okay? I need you to be honest. I need you to be honest, Karen. You have nerve coming up in here asking Stacy to be honest. I need you to be honest. Okay? So, before we move on from that. So, Stacy is just, I think Stacy's just dumbfounded. Karen says to her, well, I need you to be honest. She's just like, I'm still the only one that lives in Potomac. Karen wants to be the grande dame, but as I was watching this, you know who the new grande dame is? And I don't care if she doesn't live in Potomac. The new grande dame is Stacy. And officially here on our channel, we're gonna crown Stacy. Stacy, buckle up. Come in front of me. Come in front of me, Stacy. Come in front of me. Let's have let's just have the ceremony right now. I do declare on March 2nd of 2026, here on the Kempire channel, we now crown Stacy Rush, formerly of QVC, okay? The new grande dame of Potomac. Where's my crown for Stacy? Stacy, you are the new grande dame of Potomac. Because, it's a thing. You know how Karen likes to say that, it's an aura, it's an energy, it's this and blah, 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 blah. She's like, the people have given me that. She is the new grande dame of Potomac in my book. Okay? In my book. Do I really mean it? Not really. Not really. But for this purposes, that's the thought that I had watching this. Karen is insecure about Stacy's rise. And I think next season, Stacy and Jazelle. I think, Jazelle, you should play this game a little differently. You should play this game a little differently, and you should crown, because y'all remember y'all tried to crown NECA the Grand Dame, okay? And that didn't land. That did not land. And I know NECA still lives in Potomac, but Lord, oh NECA was there last night too. Oh Lord. Yes, Deborah, thank you so much for being a member for 36 months. Deborah says, Grand Dame Stacy. It's official for me. She's the new Grand Dame. In my head, I don't care what anyone else thinks, right? Exactly. Viva La Glam says, Happy Women's History Month. Hold on. Let me just, okay. Yeah. Happy Black History Month, but also Happy Women's History Month. Just in time, Stacy. Just in time, Stacy. Lord. Do I mean it? Not necessarily, but here we are. Look, here we are. All right. Guys, as I'm doing this, be sure to like the videos, an easy free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the latest episode of The Real Housewives of Potomac. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know your thoughts and opinions on everything that we're mentioning, your thoughts and opinions on the reunion as well. Drop your crowns in the chat. Drop your crowns in the chat for Stacy, the new Grand Dame of Potomac. All right, let's move on. Okay. Yusuf Lee says, you want Karen to block you? Look, I've been blocked by better. I've been actually blocked by actual queens. Yes. Okay. Let me say thank you. We had quite a few super chats as well before we move on. Okay. Thank you, Chef Lorraine, for the super chat. Chef Lorraine says this is a scheme that Cookie set up because she's mad at Stacy from last season. I wouldn't deny that. Classic Chic, thank you so much for being a member for 19 months. Oh, wait a second. Oh, wait, did they save it or did I do this? I don't remember, but hopefully they saved it. Classic Chic, thank you for being a member for 19 months, says kids are susceptible to influence from parents. Oh, you mean in regards to the audio? I could see that. I don't feel like Monique, you fell flat during this reunion. Sorry. D the Stallion, thank you so much for the super chat. That damn wire, Kemp. I know. It must be the wire. I'm gonna change one of the wires and see if that is the particular wire in question. We shall see. But we were good for several lives. Remember, it was doing it at least once a live. So I don't know. Maybe there needs to be some sort of update. All right. Thank you so much for the super chat. It's also Mercury retrograde. Just saying. Your girl Pepe, thank you. I like the hair color, girl Pepe. Another day at the Kempire Network. You know what? Y'all got jokes, okay? D the Stallion says, Angel red herring, Massey deserves another season. Yeah, I definitely think, but would I want to come back next season, especially them attacking my marriage? No. Dalen, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. If Karen were to ever ask me if I was behaving, I'd say clearly you have. They let you out early. The audacity of this lady. That's a good one. Skiji, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Skiji says, I'm waiting for you to make the TJ soundbite Kempire. If he had come back for another season, I would have, but maybe I should. Okay, that's my favorite, and so are you. Thank you so much, Skiji. I should do this. Thank you. I'm gonna do it. Maisha, let me first change the wire. Maisha, thank you for the super chat. Maisha says, happy birthday to me. Love you, Kempire. Now run me a shimmy. Look, not run me a shimmy. This feels very cheapening. This is feeling very you're taking advantage, Maisha. Happy birthday, Maisha. Shout out to anyone celebrating a birthday. It is Pisces season. Shout out to all the Pisces. You know how I feel about you. Not the women, though. Not the women. The men. Okay, the men are the problem. Way of Keith, thank you so much for the super chat. Way of Keith says, Karen walking on that stage with her chest puffed out didn't sit right with me. Also, was her denture sliding? She sounded weird. When she makes the movements with her mouth, and I'm not a doctor, I thought it was from medication. And it was like a reaction from medication. I think we actually had a doctor call in, say that a few seasons ago. So I don't know. I don't know. But that's something she's been doing for a few years, y'all. Run the tape, because we talked about it before. Abundance Adrian, is how you pronounce your name. Thank you for the super chat. Adrian says, Karen exchange with Wendy was so self-engraving and vindictive with a fake sense of moral superiority. She can get off my TV and go get help. We're going to talk about that in a second. We are definitely going to talk about that in a second. Thank you for another super chat. Abundance of Adrian says, Karen is self-aggrandizing. Wendy did what she won't. I have to say, Wendy showing up to this reunion, handling all the questions the way she did, she actually had a very good reunion. Jacqueline, thank you so much for the super chat for being a member. Jacqueline says, I hate to say this, but Karen looked high to me. Oh. What do you guys think? I don't know. You know I'm bad with stuff like that. But Michael, thank you so much for the super chat. We appreciate your support as well. Frog, thank you so much for the super chat. Frog says, standing ovation fresh out of jail. Bad ego boost at BravoCon. Frog is referring to. A lot of people had a reaction to that. Skiji, thank you so much for another super chat. Skiji says, remember Karen saying Jazelle wished death on Ray because she said that she stopped being attractive when he was dead in the ground, but she's being defensive against Wendy about the witch comment? Hypocrisy. You got a good, valid point with that. I didn't even think about that. I do think that was a reach because I do believe that Karen wasn't referring to her mom as a witch, but I'm not saying that Wendy can't feel a way about it. Wendy feels how Candy feels about her mom. So I understand it, but I do feel like that was a bit of a reach because I do think two things can be true. Wendy, Karen did not call your mother a witch. She said she had your back when people were calling her a witch, but maybe you didn't like the fact that she said it again and said it on camera. It could be that. But at the same time, I feel like, Karen, you holding a grudge against Wendy. So this is another element of what happens during the reunion, which we'll get to in a second. Anonymous, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. Second chair and no season package. I would consider Giselle's warning from the network. I would consider that Giselle's warning from the network. Karen at best should be a friend of next season. So we move on from Karen versus Stacy to Karen versus Wendy, because Karen owns what Ashley had to say about the whole legal seafood of it all. But as you remember, during her interview with Andy, she's like, who's telling Wendy anything? She lives in Timbuktu, which it was a great Housewives line. But do I believe that someone said something to Wendy about Karen's drinking? Yes. So why wouldn't we believe? Why are we to not believe, if we were to believe that illegal seafood, you were drinking like this and people had witnessed it? You just got a DUI. You just went to jail for a DUI. It's not like this is some new information. And when Wendy was asked about it, Wendy was like, I'm not going to talk about it. She only talked about it because Ashley said something similar. And she was like, when you asked me about, what I've heard, I didn't say anything, but since she said it, I'm just going to say someone else told me that they see Karen come to this spot all the time and she's drinking. You just got a DUI. So why wouldn't we believe that you are still drinking at different places in the DMV, Karen? So yes, I thought what you said about Wendy was funny as hell during your interview. That was funny. Who would tell Wendy anything? She lives in Timbuktu. Funny. That was a funny Housewives line. But in reality, do I believe someone told Wendy something like that? Yes, I do. Because you just served time for your 4th alcohol-related traffic stop.
Lies! The lie!
I believe Wendy. You guys let me know. Do you believe that someone told Wendy that they witnessed Karen drinking all the time at this particular place? Exactly. Edith Science says also, she said it's been a 20-year issue for her. So why would we believe that this didn't happen again? Makai says, I believe Wendy. I believe Wendy too. Toya says Wendy gives too much grace to Karen. I hope she doesn't give her the same grace later on. Next season, if Karen does come back, I do believe Karen will come back. So let's talk about that. So Karen says that she felt betrayed by Wendy over what happened at the event during last season. So we've already heard things. Remember, we've talked about this because the word on the street, there was some sort of issue that we didn't get to see between Karen and Wendy. So they flash back and they show us the conversation that Karen and Wendy had during last season. So Karen says she felt betrayed by Wendy for going on Stacy's side. Stacy, we remember, is told that Karen said that Wendy was self-absorbed and that she wasn't a girl's girl. Okay? And Wendy believed her. And Karen didn't like that, so she felt betrayed by that. Karen, you could feel betrayed by that. You just served time for your fourth alcohol-related traffic stop, DUI. You have bigger fish to fry. If this had happened during the last reunion, then I could understand. It's been over a year later. You still feel betrayed? You still feel betrayed for Wendy believing that you said something disparaging about her? Two things can be true. Wendy, I don't believe Karen called your mother a witch, but I understand that you could feel how you want to feel about that. Okay? You didn't probably like the fact that she brought it up again on camera. Okay? You could feel that. But Karen, you have bigger fish to fry than worrying about Wendy believing that you said something about Stacy. And it's probably because she's heard from other people in this group that you said similar things. Just saying. All right. So Karen says that she loved, this is how this particular segment ended. She says that she loved when Wendy's mother told her to shut the F up this season. Even in this moment, if Jazelle is saying, Karen, everyone took it like a, when Karen said that. Because none of us enjoyed that. No matter how you feel about feel about Wendy, we all kind of felt like, damn, like, yeah, we don't necessarily agree with how Wendy handled the father situation. But at the same time, the way that scene between Wendy and her sister and her mom was a lot to take in. Okay? It was a lot to take in. So Karen saying in that moment, I love the fact when your mother told you to shut the F up. I was like, okay. Okay. Even Jazelle was like, Karen. Look, Karen. So then they revisit the burglary. Okay. And I felt like Wendy was saying too much. However, if you've been following this legal case, Wendy really didn't necessarily say anything brand new, but I do believe the prosecution probably was watching this reunion, part 1, part 2, and part 3, very closely. So if there was anything that she said that wasn't on public record, they will try and use against her. But I have to give Wendy her flowers that I feel like she handled herself really well during this reunion. She really did. So we get to see some footage about the group reacting to Wendy's arrest and charges at one particular point in this video. Jazelle says that Wendy has all these degrees and this wasn't even a smart crime. Damn. She said this wasn't even a smart crime. So then Angel clarifies her statement in regards to I hope justice is served. And she says, she hopes that Wendy gets her day in court. No, you know what you meant by that. And we all know what you meant by that, Angel. But fine, let's clean it up nicely, okay? So Angel claims that she felt like the whipping boy. And she feels like that was why Wendy was the way that she was towards her during the season. I don't agree with that. And even Ashley says, no, I feel like that's a reach. I agree, because I really do believe that Wendy did not know that this was coming. We already talked about how these insurance fraud things are investigated. I don't think that Wendy knew that this was coming necessarily. However, Wendy does know. Remember, they only got like $25,000 from one of the insurances, but they were trying to get like $400-something thousand, but that was denied. So it wouldn't shock me that may have been on her mind during the filming of this season. Okay? But I don't know if she thought that she was going to get arrested and would be facing these charges. However, Angel, the reason why Wendy was the way she was too was because of how you interacted with her from the beginning. Did we forget? I know it's been a while because it all happened at the top of the season. The reason why Wendy did not see it for you, Angel, was because of how you came at her. Because off the strength of your relationship with Kiarna. We didn't forget, Angel. We're willing to forgive, but we didn't forget. Even Ashley's like, that was a reach. Okay? That was a reach. Ateka says, I remember Kempire. I think we all remember. Deborah says that Angel was trying to clean it up. Yeah, look, I don't blame her. Okay? I don't blame her. So Kiarna says that she stands by what she said in the video. And she believes that Wendy knew what she was going through during the season. So now I'm starting to see that Kiarna and Angel were aligned and probably talking about this when they knew that this was going to come up during the reunion. So that's why they are both saying that, yeah, they believe that Wendy knew that this was happening during the season. That's why she was acting the way that she was acting towards them. No. Kiarna, till this day, till March 2nd of 2026, we have no reason, we have no understanding of why you have an issue with Wendy. We haven't forgotten part 2, where Wendy provides the actual proof that when she got off that stage at that event, she hugged you. You brought a picture of the room. You brought a picture of the room, and we're just like, this is not landing. This is not landing at all. All right? All right. Jazelle says this in regards to her reaction to Wendy of it all. Here's the thing. When they keep saying that, I pray for your children, it says more to me that every time they try to talk about the whole Wendy of it all and saying that I pray for your children, I pray for your children. Do you not pray for her? It shows me the disconnect when it comes to their feelings of Wendy. They don't like Wendy. So, because they always say, like, I pray for your children. I pray for your children. And I'm not saying that they have to believe that Wendy didn't do this crime. But it just says to me, because you see how Stacy has been able to show up for Wendy. She's not saying that she agrees with if Wendy did this. But I noticed how the other women, remember Ashley when she made those terrible remarks about Wendy during her singing event? That I pray for your kids. I pray for your kids. Karen, when asked about this, she's like, I pray for your kids. Do you not care about Wendy? Do y'all not care about her well-being? Do y'all not pray for her? So Jazelle says that she doesn't believe that Wendy knew that this was coming during the season. And she was reminded of what Wendy said last season about not paying the mortgage and the bills and things like that. Well, Wendy then goes into the details of what happened during the burglary, and she confirms that the burglary happened before they filmed season 9. So now it makes me wonder, and this is just speculation, it makes me wonder, did she say that on camera for evidence for the future that she did not have any culpability when it comes to, like, I don't pay the bills, I have no idea. I don't know when our mortgage is due. I don't feel like anyone in any relationship should not know anything about the bills, especially in 2026 when we know somebody could just, end up not being here anymore. Yeah, everyone should know everything about the finances when it comes to someone's life. And that's something that they said. So Jazelle says that came to mind when all of this happened. So Wendy goes through the details. She confirms that their home was robbed April of 2024 before they started filming, okay, in season 9. Mind you, they never really even talked about it during the season, which I thought was interesting, okay? So Wendy retells the story. She says when they came home from vacation, their trip to Jamaica, she says that Cameron comes down and she says that, their dog made a mess. And she's like, there's no way the dog could have made a mess because the dog was at the doggy hotel. Okay. Then she goes through all the details of how Eddie went upstairs to see, and then they call the police, and the police investigate the robbery. Here's the thing, though. It makes me wonder, because did Cameron go into their bedroom? I'm going to speculate. They talked about it on the show, so I'm going to speculate. because the way that she said it, and this is why you probably should have said anything, Wendy, during this reunion, because I feel like they're going to pick apart the details, even if these details are in your statement. I feel like they're going to pick apart these details on how you're retelling the story on this reunion. Because when you said Cameron went upstairs and that upstairs that doggy made a mess, did Cameron go into your bedroom? Why would Cameron go into your bedroom when you come back from vacation? Or, I'm playing devil's advocate, twerking on a fence, okay? Twerking on a fence. Did that happen because she walked by your room and she saw the mess? Remember, the speculation is that they came in and they fumbled all the things in regards to, like, they turned over the bed, they did all the things. That is the narrative, okay? That is what the prosecution is saying. So it just makes me wonder, because when she says that Cameron went upstairs and she saw a mess, I'm just like, wait, did she go into your bedroom? She could have. But see how they're going to pick apart this stuff? So RC says, no, Cameron was talking about her room. But remember, according to the police, they're saying nowhere else in the house was rummaged through. Again, we haven't heard Wendy's side from her attorney's side. Okay? Tanya says yes, and they may call your child to testify. Oof. I hope not. Attorneys weigh in. So then there's that. So I don't know. I felt like that particular part of the story kind of got convoluted, and I was just like, oh, Wendy, don't say anything more. I was literally screaming at my television, shut up. And that's where Karen tries to at least justify her saying that, she agreed with her mother to shut the F up. No, you didn't. You just try to connect it now to try to justify, because you're like, oh, maybe that was too harsh. Okay? Maybe that was too harsh. RC says, wow, sigh. Kasha says, my God, today. I know. So I don't know. I felt like she was saying a little too much. Okay? All right. Let me see. So Karen says that she wouldn't have answered anything about this on stage. She says that Wendy needs to stop talking and or interviewing. Wendy looks at her like, interviewing? I'm not interviewing. Okay? And she hasn't done any interviews. She went to BravoCon. She was asked about it. She gave a statement. That was it. Okay. Wendy says that she spoke to her attorney. Unlike Karen, she says that she spoke to her attorney. She didn't say that unlike Karen part. She said, I spoke to my attorney. Nothing that I'm saying right now is something that has not been said in public record. Okay. In regards to her family, because, she had a time with her mom, which we didn't see any resolution. She says her family has really shown up for her. She says even Eddie's family has really shown up for her. Make sure you get your tickets, guys. Kempire After Dark live. Taria Faison has more information about what's going down on there in the DMV. So if you have been weighing your options, if you live in the New York City tri-state area, we got people coming in from Philly. We got people coming in from Kenya. Okay? From abroad. Okay? Despite what's going on in this country, they are coming to the New York City live show on March 13th at the Green Room 42. But if you can't make it, I get it. Foxy's got her live stream ticket. Miss Parker got her live stream ticket. Go get your live stream ticket. If you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know if you're coming to the show or if you got your live stream ticket. Ticket information on the Kempire After Dark live experience will be available in the description. And I will be going live tonight on the Tickety Talk, okay, to talk about this and so much more in regards to Potomac and more. Fab says, I will be there, Kempire. See you then, Fabs. Tears of Joy says, let me get my live stream ticket, child. Just saying, there's some more information in regards to what the DMV streets are saying, okay? Go get your tickets, okay? Reese says, just bought my live stream ticket. All right. I can't wait because I feel like more is going to happen because they're supposed to have a hearing too. So stay tuned. No, Millie, they're not going to. We're gonna put a kibosh on that. Millie says, Kempire, please pray they don't cancel the flights. The Orange Man is doing too much. I agree, but they won't. They won't. You're gonna make it here safely. All right? You're gonna make it here. So let's take a moment. Let's pray for everyone's safety in traveling to our show. That we're all going to be blessed and we're going to have a good time. We're going to forget for 90 minutes. We're going to forget what's happening on the outside of those doors. Okay. All right. All right. We are blessed. All right. We are blessed. And we're going to have a fantastic time on March 13th. All right. So Wendy addresses some of the other things. So Andy brings up a few different things in regards to the narratives around, her finances, the renovation, her trying to keep up with the Joneses, basically. Wendy says that the people can have their narrative. She says that's on them. I think that's a good answer. She's not going to argue when it comes to the narrative. She's just like, you can argue that. I'm still going to be here in this Sergio Hudson dress and looking fabulous. I'm just saying. All right. Wendy denies using aliases in regards to the 67 credit cards. Her statement in regards to it, I think it was perfect. She says, we have never used aliases for any financial institution. And that was also addressed in court by their attorneys. We remember talking about that and covering that. Those aliases of Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy were used for packages, which for me makes sense because I can't imagine you deciding to put Eddie Hennessy on any credit card. And if the prosecution did put it out there like that, that's very irresponsible to them. So I'm going to pay attention to the next few updates in regards to this story. Okay. All right, guys, we're almost at 1,000 likes. Keep liking the video. It's easy, free way of supporting not just my channel, but other channels as well. We're talking about the latest episode, the final episode for season 10 of the Real Housewives of Potomac. Be sure to let us know your thoughts as well. Thank you so much, Chris. Chris says this is a good distraction from the news. Thank you, Kempire. Right? We need a break, especially after this weekend. But we're praying for those in the Middle East and the families that are affected by what's going on. We definitely pray for them and their safety. Especially the children that were just a lot going on. All right. So Wendy says in response to them having very little money, Wendy did not confirm or deny. And I think the reason why, she says, first of all, in a quote, I respect the legal system. If that's their opinion, then that's their opinion. I think she just doesn't want to deny it during this reunion because if it comes out later in court, like their actual finances, which we found out some of that information has already been obtained. I think she was covering herself. She's not going to deny it like Karen Huger. She's just going to be like, I respect their opinion. If that's their opinion, that's their opinion. Okay, we'll have to wait and see. Okay. Wendy says that this has, because they asked about the marriage, because, we talked about how has this affected their marriage. And her and Eddie, they have been a united front. He's been by her side despite everything. He's been by her side at BravoCon, at this reunion. Okay. He even comes out after this line of questioning. He's like, are you okay? He's checking on. Like, that's a good man in a way, because if any of what they're being accused of is true, not so much. But they're riding and dying together. Okay. All right. Exactly. Toya says very little money is subjective. To whom? You know what I mean? Very little money varies from household to household, right? All right. She says in regards to their marriage, she says their marriage has been tested, but they're both at the bottom when it comes to this situation. So, she hopes that they will rise up together. So it doesn't feel like in that moment that she's clearly saying that it's all good between them, that, in season 11 or 12, that they won't be getting a divorce or something. I don't see them getting a divorce, to be honest with you, unless something damning comes out, but we'll have to wait and see. All right. Wendy says that she prays that they don't go to a place where they have to plan for not being with their children and finding someone to take care of their children. I think if that happens, I think her mother will step up. I think her sister will step up. We're going to have to wait and see. Season 11 is going to be interesting. I definitely think she will be filming season 11 at the very least. I don't think she'll be going immediately if there's a plea deal or if she's convicted. I think she has time before any of that happens. You know what? R Plus says, you can be an alleged criminal and be a good man too, Count. Are you talking from experience? No, I get what you're saying. Lord have mercy. I guess. But I think I'm thinking more so like you put her in this predicament. You can't really be a good man if you put your wife in this predicament. You know what I mean? Like, I think you're showing support, but at the same time, you put me in this situation. And you can't be a good man. That's a good man, Savannah. No, he not. He sent me to prison. Okay? All right. Very much like the Teresa and Joe of it all from Real Housewives of New Jersey. All right, let me move on because it's 1:11. Make a wish. It's 1:11 here in New York City. Make a wish. All right. So they move on from that. Andy says that okay, here's my thing. And I think Andy thinks that this is a compliment, and it is. He talks about, and he said this before when they were originally arrested, that, he says that Wendy she has always led with her education. She's led with her culture, and he has a high respect for Wendy. He says she's a great role model as a housewife. So he says that's why something like this is so unbelievable and surprising. So Wendy gets emotional hearing that from him. Okay. She says, thank you for always believing in me, and that he gives great hugs, and he hugged every part of her when she saw him at BravoCon. And here's the thing, and I think Andy means well, but I feel like that's a lot to put on someone. Hence, also the pressure to live up to that, to live up to being a great husband, to live that lifestyle, to do all the things that you want or expect of a housewife. So I feel like, don't put that on Wendy. I get it. She's sort of come with that aura, but he keeps saying it. He said it after she was arrested. He said it when asked about it in interviews. And he says it again during this reunion. I feel like that's a lot of pressure to put on someone. Okay? Hence why I think maybe that's what's led us to where we are today. Okay. So Wendy thanks him for believing in her. Andy then asked Karen, what advice would she give Wendy? So Karen says, I pray for your kids. I pray, that you never have to go through what I went through or losing your liberties. I would not want any advice from Karen. Karen and the way that she navigated, Jamaki got her live stream. Thank you, Jamaki. The way that Karen navigated this, yes, she's on the other side of this, thankfully, okay? But I don't need advice from Karen, who's fresh out of jail. But she's going to take it. And I get it. Literally, this just happened to her. So what advice would you give? Fine. Do the complete opposite, Wendy. Do the complete opposite, Wendy. Because if you take a plea deal or if you end up going to jail and you're found guilty, I hope that you come out with way more accountability and humility than Karen. So I'm not really interested in any advice from her, me personally. Okay. But she says, I'm praying for your kids. All right. Miss Sharon got her live stream ticket. Thank you so much, Miss Sharon. All right. She's fresh out of jail. I'm not, spare me. Look, spare me. Okay. As they end this particular segment, we're going to get to the calls. Okay. If you're a member of the channel, I'm going to drop the call-in link for our Royal Court members first. Let me do that now before I forget. Let me do that now. And as I'm doing that, guys, keep liking the video. I will drop the call-in link for the general audience. Let's get to 1,200 likes. We have nearly 2,700 of you here. Shout out to everyone watching on X. Hey, Miss Congeniality. I always mess up your name, but thank you so much for watching on X. The Skin is Skinning. Thank you. I just got my facial Friday. Yes. Hey, Just Jules. Thanks for saving me. You're welcome. All right. Let me drop the call-in link, and we're going to give you 30 seconds, y'all. So use your 30 seconds wisely and be mindful because we are trying to get to everyone. So the minute you hear the buzzer, hang up, okay? Or I'm going to hang up on you, okay? All right. So for Royal Court members, we dropped the calling for you. Team Kempire members, we're going to drop the calling for you in just a second. So they end up taking a little bit of break. Karen and Monique leave. I forgot to mention, Monique got emotional talking about Karen. I'm surprised Monique didn't address, or maybe she didn't, they cut it out, Because Monique during the after show was talking about how she's got some things that she wants to talk to Karen about because Karen reached out to her about her microblader, and she didn't. She felt like Karen could have been like a little bit more friendlier in regards to her reaction, her text to her. So I'm surprised that didn't come up, but that didn't come up. She got emotional, and she says, to know Karen is to know Karen has walls in regards to that. And she felt like some of Karen's walls came down when her parents passed away. And then she feels like Karen has shown accountability. And some people do feel like Karen's shown accountability. I do feel like she has on some level, but I don't think Karen's ready. Wow. Keith says the only advice I would get from Karen is how to get extra honey buns from my commissary. Wow. All right. So they end the reunion just sort of, they all realize that at the end. First of all, Tia, I have to say, Tia, her Nigerian sister, goes to check on Wendy. She's like, that wasn't easy. How are you doing? And she tells her she did a good job. Eddie comes out to check on Wendy as well. All right, so we come back. Everyone was like, Jazelle, you didn't have a package in regards to like what's been going on with her for the season. And Jazelle's like, yeah, where's my package? So when Andy is doing the roundup with everyone, Jazelle realizes that she's like, I'm going to use this moment. But before we even get to Giselle's moment, Ashley says that she's going to work on being more of a sister in this group.
Lies! The lie!
Okay, Ashley. Okay. If Ashley comes back, it's because they couldn't find any new women. They are currently casting in Potomac, okay? According to my sources. So Jazelle gives an update on what's going on with her since she didn't get a package, okay? So she's like, her daughter became an AKA. She says she's dating, but she's dating now to be more serious. She says she's working on a few business ventures, blah, 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 blah. No one cares, Jazelle. Apparently production didn't either. And I wonder why production did that. Don't you wonder why production decided to do that? That there was no package? Do you think that it was a warrant? I don't think so. I feel like she had an okay season with production and the network. I don't think that her job is in jeopardy. I really don't. I think they were like, girl, you don't need a package. You coming back next season. You do what we want. Exactly. Miss Melmatt says tomato, tomato, boo, boo. All right. So Stacy says that she wants to stay exactly the same, the way that she is. She does say that, there are things that she wants to improve upon, but being more direct with the group. I wish she will be more direct with the group too. So Wendy says that she thought that the group would be a lot harder on her during this reunion. Did you guys expect them to be a lot harder on her? I don't know. I think they're saving it for season 11. I mean, they work quite hard on her, just not to her face. I don't know. Did you expect them to be a lot more harder on her? I don't know. I think we generally thought that they would be a lot more harder on her, but here we are. Guys, I did drop the call-in link for all members. Live chat, once we get to 1,200 likes, I will drop the call-in link for you guys as well. Let's go through some of the super chats. Thank you guys so much. I don't take lightly you spending your money here on the channel. So shout out to our members. It is a members-only live chat. But thank you to those of you that send in cash apps, Venmos, things like that. We appreciate it. Those of you that buy merch, you guys have been selling out the Are You Okay merch. And you've been loving the mugs, the travel mugs. All of that is now available. So there's sweatshirts. There's sweatshirts like this one, Working on the Fence sweatshirt. But there's also the Are You Okay sweatshirt, t-shirts, all that stuff. Wear it to the live show happening on March 13th here in New York City. It's my only live show I have planned for 2026. Just because it's, sometimes you just got to take some time and refocus and rebrand and do all the things, okay? So this is the only live show that we're doing for 2026. But if you can't come to New York, I understand there is a live stream option. So no matter where you are in the country or the world, you'll be able to watch the live show and see and hear all the tea being spilled, right? Right. Shout out to our Kings Guards for holding us down in the live chat. We appreciate them. Be sure to thank them as well. Happy birthday to and happy Pisces seasons to anyone celebrating. D the Stallion, thank you for another super chat. D the Stallion says RHOP will never escape those colorism allegations. Wait, what was this in reference to, D the Stallion? What part? What part of the? I mean, we've talked about it, but what part were you referring to? Heather Locklear, thank you so much for the super chat and for being a member. For being a member for 23 months, almost 2 years. Says during the Nevis trip, Wendy's attitude shifted. Oh, do you think that's when maybe something happened behind the scenes? In regards to the case, maybe. For all we know, they could have gotten, maybe that's when they got denied for the $400,000 from the insurance. The Villa Download, thank you so much for the super chat. The Villa Download says, Angel may not be a fan favorite, but I hope she comes back for one more season to see how she fares out, if she can redeem herself. I feel like everyone feels that way, but if she comes back, I need her to come back without Kiarna. I think Kiarna holds her back. She gets chin checked. She got chin checked during the reunion. So I don't want to see Kiarna and her together. Dihende, thank you so much for the super chat. Dihende says, if I was Stacy, the way I would have dragged Karen to hell when she said stop lying. Karen been lying since season 1 about her finances and alcoholism. You're right. You're right. OMG Steph, thank you so much for the super chat. OMG says that, did you catch Monique when they were playing Wendy's Package, a scene with Susan? Wow, I missed this episode. I did hear her when she said that. She says, also, Wendy looked so uncomfortable during the package. Her body and facial expressions. Weren't we uncomfortable watching that? I was uncomfortable watching that. I fell for Wendy. Naza, thank you so much for the super chat. Naza says, I don't know if I believe the Eddie's family rallied around them. You know what, Naza? I kind of felt that way too. I think she means particular people in Eddie's family, like his siblings may have rallied. But do I think they may be talking? Well, get your ticket for the live stream like Jamie did. Jamie, thank you so much for the super chat. Jamie says, live stream ticket secured. Since it's on a Friday, the 13th, I hope there will be a spooky theme. No, there will not be a spooky theme. Because remember, we talked about this during our dating live. Friday the 13th has been rebranded as spooky. But if you really look into the history behind the number 13 and Friday the 13th, it's actually more about love. We talked about it during our dating live. Remember, for those that were here for the dating live? So we are rebranding Friday the 13th. It's not an unlucky day. It's actually a beautiful day to be open and to love and to be loved. So it's going to be a day of love because this is the last time that I could be villainous. Okay, villain era is over come April. Okay. But thank you, Jamie, for the super chat and for buying your ticket. Ms. Parker, thank you so much for the super chat and getting your live stream ticket as well. Bravo said, if Jazelle isn't going to give us anything, we aren't going to give her anything. Please sit second chair. Well, thank you, Ms. Parker. P Minx. Thank you so much for being a member for the super chat. P Minx says, love you, Kempire. Thank you for the love and beautiful photo. Okay, curls and beautiful smile. Thank you so much for the love. All right. Let's get to our callers because they've been waiting so patiently behind the scenes. If I could even find them, where are they? Okay, here they is. All right, members, please respect the timer. Okay, we're gonna bring up Cynthia first. Please. Oh wait, before we bring up Cynthia, reminder: the opinions of the callers do not represent the opinions of myself, the Kempire LLC, or our sponsors. Everything that they say is alleged and of their own opinion. They agree not to be derogatory or to use profanity. Some of y'all forget. All right? Don't forget this time. All right? All right. Let's bring up Cynthia first. Cynthia, what did you want to share about this final part of the reunion?
Hi, Kempire. How
Hey.
are thee?
How are you?
I'm fine. I didn't watch the third part of the reunion. Great recap, and
Oh.
I didn't feel like I watched Ready to Madison though. I'll
Oh.
tune in more on at 3. Great recap and free Wendy. Have a good one, Kempire. Free
Thanks
my
so-
Nigerian Igbo sister.
Okay, all right. Thanks, Cynthia. I love it. I'm Igbo too, you know. Just saying. Not like Portia. I have the proof. I have the proof. Amit says, in Sikh culture, 13 means for you. Blessings. Oh, blessings for you. Thank you so much for sharing that, Amit. Okay, no. Let me focus. Oh, let me put my headphones in too so I can hear the callers properly. Okay. All right, let's bring up Demi next. Hold on, Demi. Let me bring you up. Demi, what did you want to share?
Hey, I just wanted to say that I completely agree with you about the shift in wanting Karen to return back to the season.
Mm,
She was really mean.
mm,
And I know we like the idea to offer ourselves as people that want to extend grace. I think that's appropriate. I get it. But until I know that you really are someone that is deserving of grace,
mm.
I don't think I want to give it to her.
Ooh.
So I'm okay if she doesn't come back. I know she will, but we don't need to hear. What are we going to hear? We're going to be watching her drinks every time that they sit down for any kind of dinner. We're not. We don't. There's no story to tell, and I do agree that she might have been on something too. Thank you. Bye bye.
Oh, damn. Thanks, Demi. Really? Y'all, please feel free, replay crew as well, because I didn't even think about that, but all right. All right. Maisha's backstage. We're going to bring Maisha up next. Maisha. Oh, hold on, Maisha. I almost dropped you. Maisha, are you there?
Hey, Kempire, I'm here. Happy birthday to me and happy
Yes.
honorary birthday to you too. I know you love a good Pisces and we love you too.
Go ahead, Maisha. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. I just wanted to say Karen got on my nerve. She got on my nerve real bad. And once again to the producers, please fire Ashley Darby and her Dean Darby Reed. See you later, Kempire.
Oh, thanks, Maisha. Maisha did that. Y'all, okay, y'all getting y'all reads in. That was like 10 seconds. I love it. All right. Miss Sharon's backstage. Miss Sharon, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm doing fine. I don't know if you got my what I sent in to you, but anyway, I just want to go back
The
and
super
say
chat?
that you don't have to ever worry about Jazelle getting fired because Jazelle is a production favorite.
Mm.
Jazelle knows how production works because she used to work for production on the NAACP awards.
Oh.
And to recap on, I also went back and what happened was I looked at her father's documentary, and I can understand why Giselle didn't get that money. He left that money to his wife. Yes, he did change that will. Why? Because he's vindictive.
Ooh.
He was vindictive to his wife, and Giselle is self-conscious because have you ever seen her mother when she was young? That was a beautiful woman, and she's still beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
but she was really beautiful. And Giselle feels like Giselle is very insecure because she doesn't feel like she measures up. And yes,
Oh.
Giselle has a pedigree.
Okay.
So that's why Giselle
All right, Miss
hates
Sharon, you
on these
over the time
women.
now, Miss Sharon.
Okay, talk to you later.
Thanks for sharing. I did see a picture of Giselle's father's wife. Yeah, she is in fact white. Just saying. Look, just saying. V, thank you so much for the super chat. V says, I got my live stream ticket. I can't wait. Happy Monday. Thanks, V. Again, guys, ticket information on the Kempire After Dark, a live show, the end of the villain era. No, we love it. We love it. Okay. Loverboy era loading. Okay. I told you it was loading. I didn't tell you it was here. Okay. Let's bring up Angel next. Angel, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. So overall, I give the season and all three parts of the reunion a solid 8.5. I do think Angel was being shady with her comment towards Wendy, and she was showing her true side, like when she made that Forrest Whitaker comment. And I want to see that Angel come back next season without Kay. Please get rid of Kay, Tia, Ashley, and Giselle. I think they were throwing warning shots at you, especially between having the reunion where it was held and you not getting a package. But I mean, you don't offer anything. So all you gave us was the cellulite on your thighs, and that was it.
Goodbye.
Bye, Kim. I know I shouldn't have been messy.
Lord. All right. Amy J, thank you so much for another super chat. Amy says Karen should have been a crisis manager because the spin is wicked. No, I think she's a terrible crisis manager. I would never hire her as my crisis manager. You would hire her as your crisis manager? I know she tries to spin it, but I don't think she's really spun it. All right. Let's bring up Toya next. Toya, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound a little low though. Where are you?
I'm in the cafeteria. I'm at lunch.
Oh, okay. What's going on?
I just wanted to say that Wendy deserves her flowers for showing up to the reunion because last season Karen did not show up.
And Wendy did show up. She showed up to BravoCon and she answered questions that people may think that she should not have, but she showed up. And next season, she can negotiate a lot of extra money because they're going to be in the thick of it with her trial if it goes to it. And the women are going to give her help.
Yeah.
So that was it.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thanks, Toya.
Kempire. Have a good one.
You too. Toya brings a very valid point. The fact that Wendy showed up to BravoCon, she showed up to this reunion. If she comes, she could really, unlike Karen, who didn't show up to the reunion, really didn't show any sort of accountability, kept on saying she was being vindicated. Wendy really could spin this. She could ask for a lot of money next season. I hope she got a good manager and agent, because if they're going to exploit your situation, you're going to need the money, especially even if she's proven innocent at the end of this. You're going to need the money because you still have to pay these attorneys. So you better got a good agent. All right, El My Bell is backstage. El My Bell, what did you want to share?
Hi, yes. So I think Angel should come back so she can redeem herself the way like Camille did on the second season of Beverly Hills. And so I think she should actually host the overseas trip so she can do a good trip. And plus she has the funds to do it. You know, she actually has the money to do it. And maybe they could go to Africa or somewhere really nice. And then also, when unpopular opinion, sorry y'all, but I think Wendy could be lying about Karen being seen somewhere, because Wendy also implied that Angel did not get a degree from Temple, and she does have a degree. And she also implied that Angel only wanted to pay $1,000 for a home in the DMV, and you can't even do that in this area. So that's all I want to say. And we had 4 new wives in the past 2 years. No new wives. We need a break.
Thanks, El My
Bye,
Bell.
Ashley.
Bye. Bye. All right. Good point, valid points, but a lot of these women lie on this cast. The same way that Elle just listed the amount of things that Wendy could have lied about, we could list countless things that Karen has lied about. And why are we to believe that something that happened 20 years ago at Legal Seafood and you just got arrested for a DUI, why wouldn't we believe that you were still drinking at a particular place in the DMV? The DMV streets, if y'all doing stuff in the DMV streets, y'all are silly. Those folks down in the DMV, gossipy. Those DMV streets are hot. Okay? All right. GC's backstage. GC, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing well. I just want to say a few things.
Okay.
I knew Karen was lying when she said that when she was in jail, she was leading the group because, like I've told you before, I'm a retired law enforcement officer, and I knew that was a lie. As far as her not being able to say that she has an alcohol problem, that she's an alcoholic, she's not in recovery. She's just trying to cover. That's all she's trying to do and get through. The rest of good day. That's what I wish.
Oh, wait, no, finish your last thought.
I wish the best for Wendy, but I think they've set Eddie up to be the person to take the fall.
I was getting that vibe too, GC.
Yeah, yep, I think so. Especially with that. I don't know where the bills or how the bills are paid or anything. I think it's all a setup so he could take the fall for all of this.
And how do we feel about that? Are we okay with that? Someone's got to be out here to take care of those kids.
Somebody got to take care of them daggone babies.
Just saying. And she's going to be at home filming and working and making the money to take care of everything.
Exactly. Eddie is taking the fall for this, but they were in it together. I believe that.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
Thanks, GC.
Have a good one.
You too. I'm just saying, if you remember the channel, I did drop the call-in link. We do have quite a few members backstage. Live chat, I will drop the call link for you, but we need to get to 1,200 likes. 1,200 likes, and I'll drop the call link. I mean, we got over almost 3,000 of you watching on multiple platforms. I don't understand why we can't even get to 1,200. We should get to 2,000, but okay. All right, let me bring up Miss Bernice. Miss Bernice, what did you want to share?
What up, though, everybody? How you doing?
We're great. How are you?
I'm fine. If I offended anyone with my comment earlier, I apologize.
Thank you, Miss Bernice.
But Karen is trying to control the alcoholism when she has no control over it because it's a beast of its own. And she's trying to control the narrative like she's okay, everything's okay, because I looked at the interview that Andy had with her before the reunion, and she never did say exactly what drew her to drink. She glossed over it. She never came in detail on what triggered. You're going to have triggers that trigger you to drink. She never went through any of that. So you try to control the narrative when you can't, because you have it in your mind, you don't have a problem. And the way she was sitting up there on the stage, like she the it, trying to, she the queen, and these is her subjects going at Wendy. You just showing your true colors. That's why I said what I said. But other than that, love you.
Thanks, Miss Bernice. Have a great day.
Okay. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. I will say this, because if I recall the interview that Karen did, she did say that some of what triggered the alcohol and the pills usage was stemming all the way back to her SA situation, her parents' situation, the pressures of being on this reality show. She didn't say that again during their interview, but she did say that in court docs. Just saying. All right. April Aries is backstage. I'm going to bring April Aries up next. April Aries, what did you want to share?
Hi, good afternoon, Kempire. So I feel like Karen was doing too much, just too much in general, just thinking that she was better than everyone when she came on the stage, because I feel like, the first step of admitting that you have a problem is by calling a thing, and she's refusing to do that. So hopefully she will do that. And my issue with Monique is, if you know this man is petty, then why would you even discuss it? Like, sure, okay, men will do things outside of that, but it's like, why would you show us something if we can't hear it? And we know kids tend to repeat things that they hear, not to say that it wasn't true, but it's like, you guys are cease and desist because of you running your mouth, and you knew what would happen. Have a good day, Kempire.
You too. I mean, yeah, look, yeah. All right, let me say thank you. Millie, thank you so much for the super chat. Millie says, treated myself with tickets to the show, praying the world calms down. Also, Wendy can really turn these lemons into lemonade money. Right? Well, Millie, we're all, everyone in the chat is praying that you're able to make it safely here to the live show on March 13th. So, but we appreciate you. We appreciate the effort, because I could understand you not wanting to. I can understand that. Naza, thank you so much for another super chat. Naza says, you know what? After saying that, maybe Eddie is taking the fall, and maybe that's why he wasn't seated or brought out during the reunion. Oh, I'm glad he wasn't brought out. I think she handled herself very well, all on her own. All on her own. All right, let's bring up Keith. Keith, what did you want to share?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So I just wanted to say, I think Karen has a superiority complex, and it really borderline narcissism, in my opinion. I know we like to throw that word around, but there's definitely something mentally up there with Karen that I think she needs to get assessed, because attention is definitely a drug. And I don't think not one psychologist have that many credentials to be able to assist Karen. So I think she's best for her to probably be off this show to get the help that she really desperately needs. But also, Angel is a follower, and I feel like the reunion is definitely her second chance. And she flopped this reunion too, because just like I said last time, she got sunned by Kiana. Like, I don't know what is her point. Like, a second season isn't going to help it. But that's about it.
Thanks, Keith. I feel the same way too. I feel the same way too. All right, guys, we're almost at 1,200 likes. I'm going to drop the call link in once we get to 1,200 likes in the general audience. It is a members only live chat, but if you're watching this, because we have quite a few people that aren't members watching, you will be able to call in and share your thoughts. Let me bring up Judgy Justice, who's backstage. Judgy Justice, what did you want to share?
Yeah, I just wanted to share that I really like this episode of the reunion. I felt like it was a better part. I felt like there was a lot more conversation going back and forth, and without Andy's interruption. So I did like that a little bit. It seemed like it was a little more genuine and responsive. I just didn't like how Karen came out, guns a-blazing at Wendy. It made no sense to me. I get because maybe she thinks everybody who's going to go to jail is her friend, or somebody she should speak highly above. It's very in poor taste, and I think it didn't help her coming back into the group.
Yeah.
And I just, it's turning me off for like season 11. just not really interested in seeing the gimmicks again next year. So thank you. Bye.
Thanks, Judge Justice. Yeah, I thought I might feel a little differently from Karen after the reunion. I mean, I definitely didn't after the sit down that she did for the season finale. But I was like, you know what? That was a week after she had gotten out. It's been a couple of months since the reunion. I mean, since they filmed the reunion. I'm like, but okay. And especially after she did her interview on Sherry Shepherd's show. I was definitely not getting any accountability. She basically said, don't ask me no more questions about alcoholism or my jail sentence after this reunion. We got to be done with it. That's basically what she said on Sherry. After this, she's like, I'm done with it. Don't be asking me no more questions. Okay. All right. Dalen's backstage. We're going to bring Dalen up next. Dalen, what's going on?
Hi, Kempire. I would like to say, you would think Karen going to jail would bring her back to earth, but that did not work. I could not believe the audacity of this lady. And then you to bring up my mother, you lied on yours, and she's no longer with us. So don't bring my mother up. And also, my hat's off to Wendy. She showed a lot of I can't figure out the word, but I give her my respect for showing up to BravoCon and the reunion. But that is going over a lot of people's heads. Like, she showed up while going through the hardest time of her life right now. So, and that's all I have to say.
Thanks so much, Dalen. All right. Live chat. We're almost at 1,200 likes. I'm sticking to 1,200 because my mom say I go too easy on you guys. So 1,200 likes. I'll drop the call-in link, but we do have a couple of members that are still backstage. If you remember the channel, I did drop the call-in link on the post tab here on YouTube. Shout out to those of you watching on Facebook and those of you watching on Twitch and Twitter. We appreciate you guys as well. Miss Esquire is backstage. Miss Esquire, what did you want to share about this Potomac reunion?
Hi, Kempire. How are you?
Oh, well, how are you?
I'm doing really good. So here's the thing with Karen not admitting she's an alcoholic is because she's going to be seen drinking alcohol in the future, and she doesn't want to be tied to that label. This lady's relationship to her sobriety, I think, is really tentative. I'm saying this as a child of two addicts. So, baby, I know what I'm seeing when I see it. I think that Wendy represented herself very well. I agree. I agree to a certain extent with Karen that her legal counsel probably would have said, "Hey, can you not do this?" But she recognizes this is her job. I applaud her for going and showing up in a way that Karen never would have and didn't, and admitted that she didn't.
Yeah.
Because she kind of basically tacitly admitted on the couch by talking to Wendy that it wasn't because she was in rehab that she didn't come. It's basically because she didn't want to answer questions about her legal case. And then, okay, let me make sure that I understand this. So Monique wants us to believe that Stacy revealed to Chris that she was filming with her children because one of her children overheard Chris saying, "Who is Stacy?" talking about Stacy and asked, "Who is Stacy?" Is that what I'm supposed to take from that? That's the reveal?
And even if that's not necessarily what happened, we didn't even hear it. All we heard was this.
Well, that's what, but I'm saying even if I take Ashley's word at it, which I would never take Ashley's word for anything.
Exactly.
But even if I take her word for it, you're telling me, Candace, I'm supposed to believe that this woman revealed to your husband that you were filming with your children during this television show in a way that jeopardizes your custody case because one of your children heard him talking about someone named Stacy and asked, "Who is Stacy?" These receipts are never receipted against Stacy, and that's the problem. There are lies you can catch Stacy in, but listen, they just never can catch our girl.
Yeah.
They can just never catch her. So that's it.
I'm happy for her. Thank you, Ms.
I'm
Esquire.
happy for her.
Ms. Esquire, because I know you said you agreed with Karen in regards to Wendy saying too much. After seeing the things
I don't think she said too much. I agree with Karen. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No. Go ahead. What you were gonna say?
I don't think she said too much. I agree with Karen that probably the best response would have been, that's a legal matter. I can't answer it or to just not show up. That's the most conservative approach you could have taken to protect you in your legal case. But I think the way that Wendy showed up is, if you are going to show up and talk about your legal case, keep it to what is publicly known, keep it very brief, and make yourself look sympathetic. She achieved those three things.
What about the statement in regards to her talking about the burglary? And yes, the details are probably already there in the court docs. But then when she talked about the whole Cameron going upstairs and saying, like, for me, it opened up more questions.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, as long as it's consistent with what she's told the police,
Okay.
as long as it's consistent with her prior statements. So in court, if they go to trial, she's going to be cross-examined. And what you don't want to have is inconsistent prior statements, because that is admissible hearsay in court.
Yeah.
Now, we're in legal school, y'all. Sorry.
No, I love it.
But your prior statements, to the extent that they are inconsistent with what you said to police, they can be used against you in court. There are exceptions to the hearsay rule for that.
Oh.
So I hope that they're not inconsistent with what she said, because even if they're quote unquote innocently inconsistent, let's say she told the police that Eddie went upstairs and he first saw that there was a break-in, but now you're saying it was your daughter. Again, that inconsistency makes you not credible when it comes to the facts and the court believing what you say about what happened as opposed to what the prosecution is trying to say.
Yeah.
So you don't want to have any inconsistent prior testimony or statement.
And they wouldn't ask for Cameron, a minor, to testify, right?
Well, no, you can always have minors testify in criminal cases in cameras, is what they said. So basically, you wouldn't have anyone there. There wouldn't be any media allowed. You would never show the child's face. So, but I would think that if you have her prior inconsistent statement, like if you have what she says in the police report, and now you have this recording of the reunion, you can impeach her on the stand with that in cross-examination without ever having to bring her child into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we love it when Miss Esquire calls in. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. All right. If you're a member of the channel, I've already dropped the call link on the post tab, but live chat, I just dropped the call link for you guys as well, for those that want to call in and share their thoughts on the final part of the reunion. But I'm definitely getting off of here by 2 p.m. because we have a live recap of Married to Medicine at 3 p.m. I watched it last night, but I was sort of like in and out of watching it. What, did you guys like it? Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it at 3 p.m. Eastern. All right, let me bring up Brandy from California. Brandy, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well, how are you?
Good. I just wanted to say it was two things that was really distracting me this reunion. One was, I don't know if Karen was like sucking on a lemon or what, but all that mouth movement and all that with her lips was like really distracting. And then the way that Angel was tucked all up under Kiana on that couch is like, girl, scoot over.
I noticed
like,
that.
What is the deal with them? Like, I don't get it. I don't understand. Bobby, come get your wife, please. Like, he's so mad at everybody for how they treat her. Huh?
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying he hates how everybody treats her, but like, I don't know. Get her to, I don't know. I don't know. That's all I had to say.
Thanks, Brandy. Take care. Leave Bobby alone. Leave Bobby alone. DV's backstage. DV, what did you want to share about this reunion?
Hi, Kempire. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Awesome.
First, great. I want to say I don't have a favorite. They all get on my nerves at some point. But I find it interesting how Angel, I'm a Pisces, so I get it. I would never do reality TV, and Angel should have thought about that too. But has she been, if she looked like Wendy or Stacy, would we be crying colorists that they were being colorist towards her? The behavior was just mean girl. But has she been brown skinned with, I'm sorry?
I think we all agreed with that during the season in regards to how they were treating her. By the time we got to the Colorado trip, I think we all were like, okay, let it go with Angel.
Right, and I get why Wendy didn't speak up for her, because Angel did kind of unnecessarily attack Wendy. And Wendy's my least favorite on the cast. I always feel like she just doesn't belong with that group, and they mistreat her as well. But I think they just did the same thing to Angel, and nobody's saying anything because Angel is light-skinned. I don't like that production took a nice black couple and made them look so bad. If the cameraman was with the chef, production had the location of that site. So why weren't they there? That's just my question, and that was just my thought process.
Yeah.
But this was a crappy season all the way around.
Oh.
I don't know how they fix Potomac. I just don't. It's done. But thank you, Kempire. And I'm buying my ticket to the show. I'll be live streaming here in Atlanta.
Thank you so much, Stevie. We appreciate you. Have a good
Take
day.
care.
Bye. Shout out to Atlanta. All right, Kiki's backstage. Kiki, what did you want to share?
Hi, Kempire. Thank God I'm not in a meeting, so let me quickly
Wait, say
do this.
Oh, you have a
Sorry,
meeting?
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I'm at work, so I'm thank God I get to call during this time. So yeah, and I don't have a meeting, so yeah,
Okay.
perfect. But I'm really praying for Wendy. My heart goes out to her. I really hope and pray she comes out on top. I don't know if it's just me, but I found Monique very cringy, crying and talking about Karen. I just found that so weird. Secondly, did she record what her son was saying? Because if she did, I find that very strange. I would never, for a show to prove a point, record my child. Who does that? And yet you guys keep saying, oh, keep the kids out of it, but you're literally dragging the kid in. Okay, sorry, I have two more. Can I still say?
Go ahead, go quick.
Okay. Also, Karen lacks humility. She's just a terrible person. She needs to fix her character. And I can't sleep. I keep praying for Mary. I'm so heartbroken for Mary. I don't know if it's just me or anybody's feeling this way. I don't even know this woman, but I keep my heart is so heavy. I just pray for her every day and night. All right, bye.
Thanks, Kiki. She's talking about Mary Cosby and the loss of Mary Cosby's son. I mean, I had that feeling too. And I was like, 'cause remember last week when people were speculating that they heard that it was Monique's child that was recorded? And I said to myself, I do find that a little cringy that you were to record your child and use that as evidence at the reunion. Especially when it comes to this particular situation. I was just like, is it that deep? Is it that deep? And for me, the evidence didn't land. So to use your child for this, I'm like, it just wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it. But okay. All right. Bless Jess is backstage. Bless Jess, what did you want to say?
Yeah, I wanted to come from a therapeutic perspective in regards to the Ashley statement that she made, saying that back then, whenever she said stuff with Karen specifically, that it was never insensitive. And I think that what she meant to say is that the group is getting a little bit more colorful and more browner, so she has to be more sensitive. Because I noticed that even with Jazelle, all of a sudden, I think that both Jazelle and Karen and Ashley realized that they're being replaced. Because the thing is that when we see Wendy in what would be normally Jazelle see, and we see Stacy in what would normally be Karen see, I think that they all feel threatened, and they all feel like they're gonna maybe next season rally around each other in order to get the balance back. And I think that suddenly Jazelle has this issue with all these legal issues when you didn't have an issue with it when Karen was center front with it. So now all of a sudden it's like the issue, you're throwing all these zingers at Wendy, possibly because the reunion was all about Wendy for the most part, for first part and for the third part. And I think that she probably feels like all that was about Wendy and she didn't even get a package. But that's her fault.
Damn. All right, bless Jess. Thank you for that.
No problem. Bye.
Take care. Wow. This is why I love when you guys call in, but let me move quickly because I got to get out of here. All right. We've got Rue backstage. Rue, I'm going to hide you because you got your kid. What's going on, Rue?
Hi, Kempire. So I just wanted to say a few things. Firstly, I feel like Karen has no backbone or no standpoint. She literally just she has no values in the sense that she'll go against whoever she wants to be excluded in that moment. So in the situation right now with Wendy versus Ashley and the evidence that they brought forth, she didn't have an issue with what Ashley said because Ashley's in the in circle and she wants everyone to turn against Wendy. And then second, the other thing I wanted to say is that I think Monique brought her child's recording only because she's so gassed up by being the binder lady that she's willing to keep pushing that narrative and being that girl. So those are the things I wanted to highlight. But then also, I'm just really annoyed by how arrogant Karen is and also by everyone just sucking up to Karen and acting like. Thank you, Kempire.
Rue, where are you calling from?
Johannesburg.
I thought so. I can't wait to come to visit. Thanks, Rue.
You do. Thanks. Bye.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right. Jason's backstage. Jason, what did you want to share? Jason, you're muted. Jason.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Hi.
Jason, I think there's a delay. You don't pay attention to the turn me off in the background and come here. Jason's backstage. Jason, what did you want to share?
Hello, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I can't hear you, but I'll just say my part is about Karen and Wendy. When Karen came out there and how she kind of attacked Wendy with the "Shut up, Wendy," and Jazelle and Andy had Wendy's back in that moment. I thought that was pretty interesting. Wendy didn't have to say a word, and everyone kind of looked at Karen like, "What are you doing?" So I thought that stood out a little bit. It also kind of made me think that Jazelle and Wendy relationship is a little bit more genuine than I actually thought before. And then I thought it was funny how Karen kind of spin that "shut up" to mean legally, as in like a protection. I was like, that was hilarious. 5 minutes later, you decided to say, "Oh, I meant in a good way, to help you out." That was funny to me. It kind of just stands out how Wendy and Karen, they're kind of like pros in the game of housewives. They can kind of help themselves to look better in front of the audience. Overall, though, I thought this was a great reunion, and I liked how the ending, it was like wrapped around a positive moment. Like it really felt positive for the future. So that usually doesn't happen too often in these.
Thanks, Jason. All right. Let me bring up Sakaya next. Sakaya, what did you want to share about the Potomac reunion?
Hi, Kempire, Zakia.
Oh, thanks,
What's it
Sakia.
called? Hey, what's it called? So I'm trying to be quick. Kiana, she is educated. She has a business. She is beautiful. We only saw a billboard and her having to be escorted out every time the kids came. She got to go. Okay. And then Angel is just keep on flip flopping with Wendy. We want to see you stand by yourself. The professor versus the concubine and the people's professor got it down. Okay. She came prepared with the lawyers. And that's what I love the most about Wendy is that she is educated. She's thoughtful whenever she has her responses. Sometimes she gets a little, I don't know, off track. I think that was it. Oh, and Stacy, of course, Stacy got it. Monique, think about what you're saying. Stop. Okay. Thank you so much. Can probably have a good day.
You too, Sakaya. Love the name. Annie's backstage. Annie, what did you want to share about the Potomac reunion?
Hey, Kempire.
Hey.
So I'm not a big fan of Karen's, but I will say this. She is on probation for 5 years. If she is caught drinking, because they test her, she has to go to her probation officer and they have to test her. If she's caught, she'll be going back in front of the judge and she will have to serve the rest of her time. So she should not be drinking. I hope that she gets help because that is a disease. And I hope and pray Wendy, sees a better outcome than what it looks like. Thanks.
Thanks, Annie. Question, attorneys in the chat. Is she not allowed to drink? I'm not saying that she should. Is she not allowed to drink when you're on probation? I know she's not allowed to drink and drive, but is she not allowed to drink at all? Just asking. I don't know. I need clarification on that. Makai's backstage. We'll bring Makai up next. Makai, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire. So, okay, let me hurry up and get my thoughts out. So, this was the Stacy and Wendy reunion. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They ran it. This was their show.
Yep.
Jazelle not having a package is very telling. I mean, it's Jazelle. Like, they know that she's gonna be the production pen, just bring the mess, and that's what they expect from out of her.
We lost your mic. What's going on, Makai? Did someone try to call you, Makai? I got interrupted. Makai, call back in. Call back in. I'll bring you back up. All right, Alessia, I'm going to bring you up. Hold on. Ooh. Let me bring up Alessia. Alessia, what's going on?
Hey, Kempire, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Look, Angel, so disappointed. Look, I don't know what's going on with Angel, like clinging over Kiana. I don't know, like they give me that feeling like Kyle and what's her name, and Morgan, or Kyle and Teddy. I don't know if there's some scissoring like going on. I don't know, but it's so weird. I mean, like I don't know why she was clinging so much on
on Kiana and Karen. Like Karen was so unlikable. She was like, Stacy, did you say the truth this season? And I was like, did you, Karen? Because like so far, all you said is way far away from the truth. And like I hope for Angel. Oh, sorry. I hope for Angel that she will have a redemption season next season. I hope she will just like get rid of Kiana because she's not a friend. She's not a good friend. That's it. Bye, Empire.
Thanks,
Bye bye.
Celeste. Take care. All right. Miss Esquire says only if it's a specific condition of her probation. And I don't remember the details of her probation. And yeah, she's not allowed to drive for like the next year. And then, but she's on probation for 5 years. So I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see what the conditions of her probation are. All right. Let me try Makai again. Makai, are you there? Makai, you're muted. You're muted. Makai. Oh, I still can't hear you, Makai. Makai, you might need to drop out and call back in if you can hear me. Drop out and call back in. I'll bring you back up. Let's bring up Daniela next. Daniela, what's going on?
Hello?
Can you hear me? Daniela,
Hello?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Just go. Just
Can
go.
you hear me?
Yep.
I can't hear you.
Just go.
Oh, okay. This is my first time calling in, so I have two things to say about last episode when they were saying that the new girls are too sensitive. When Candace was on the show, they all used to get on Candace saying she's too harsh and she goes too hard, but now Ashley is saying that that's what people are saying about her, and this cast is too sensitive. And what I want to say about this episode is I feel like ATL didn't have a hierarchy, and none of the girls were scared of each other. And I feel like Potomac tread lightly around each other, because if this was ATL and someone came in with Karen's attitude after getting out of jail for a DUI, they would have went in on her and told them about themselves. But the Potomac girls last night just let Karen behave the way she did.
Okay.
They didn't humble her at all. So I feel like Potomac had more of a hierarchy than ATL did with the original girls. They're all kind of scared of each other in a kind of way
Okay.
to
All
really
right.
let each other have it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Daniela. All right, you'll hear the playback, but good. All right, all right. Let me bring up Scarlett J next. Hold on, Scarlett. Scarlett, what's going on? Uh-oh, Scarlett, you froze. You were fine before, and now you froze. Scarlett! Scarlett, you got T-Mobile. Scarlett, do me a favor. Drop out and call back in. All right, let me bring up Makai again. Makai, are you there?
Yes. Okay. I'm finally back.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's StreamYard.
Yes. So what I was saying was, so yes, Wendy and Stacy, this is their reunion. They ran that. When it comes to Lizelle, come with something more than lies next season, and maybe you could get a package. And as far as Karen, I already knew that she was never going to be fully rehabilitated when she came back on the same energy. And like you said, Stacy is the new grand dame because Karen is not portraying her actions to be of any grandness. She's not coming back being accountable. She couldn't even admit that she's an alcoholic. So yeah, Karen, I think it's time for you to sit this out. I know you're going to be back next season, but I don't want them to center around you or Jazelle next season. I need for them to center around Wendy and Stacy. That's all.
All right, thanks, Makai. All right, let's bring up Danielle. Are you there? Oh, wait, Danielle, did you go already? I can't even hear you. All right, let me bring up A.O. Kennedy. A.O. Kennedy, are you there?
Hey, Kempire, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. I don't know. I found this reunion to not live up to the hype that the previews were kind of showcasing. I feel like it was the same amount of hype that some people gave to Monique's dress, and then that came out to be a flop. I think it was the same way with with the reunion. I think it's a lot of the same recycled arguments, and there's no real reconciliation or resolution towards anything. I'm really highly disliking, and I really want to say hating, like Ashley's attitude. It's very pretentious. It's very unbecoming. You, who was it? Stacy took a dig at hers with the whole congressman thing, and then Ashley's comeback is to call her a stupid hoe. And I was just like, wait, Ashley, why does it have to come to that when you don't attack anybody else on the stage in that same manner? It's just very aggressive, very nasty, and they really need to do something with Potomac to shake it up.
Okay. Thanks so much, A.O.
But those
Kennedy.
are my thoughts. Have a good one, Kempire.
You too. All right. Nye's backstage. We're going to bring Nye up next. Nye, what did you want to share?
All right, can you hear me?
Yes, but turn me off in the background.
Okay, sorry. I'm turning you off.
It's okay.
Okay. This is my first time calling in, so I'm just excited that I got through.
Thank you.
Yeah, I want to call regularly, but I never get a chance to. So I don't have much to say other than I love Karen because I love her anyway, so I love seeing her up there. Um, Monique definitely should have never came back because this whole storyline she's trying to create is just a mess. Whether the kids heard Stacy's name or not does not mean Stacy told Chris. And even if Stacy told him, "Oh my God, I met your ex-wife" or whatever, still doesn't mean she told him that they're filming with the kids. I definitely believe that was all Kiana running and telling Cookie. And that's pretty much all I have to say. But it was great to finally talk to you because I've been trying to do this for forever.
Thank you so much, Nye. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Shout out to, I love the fact that I feel like recently everyone's been coming out of the bushes for those that have been watching for a very long time, but they're like, oh, I want to call in, or I'm in the live chat. So shout out to those of you. I get it. There are a lot of content creators that I watch in the bushes that I love, and I've been not to talk about the things that we talk about. I'm talking about like my tech reviews, my home decor stuff. Like I watch in the bushes, and I'm just like, but they don't do lives. They just do videos, like pre-recorded videos. So y'all don't get mad at me when I do pre-recorded videos. The majority of YouTube is not live. Okay, it's pre-recorded. All right. Last but definitely not least, we're going to bring up Scarlett J. Scarlett, what's going on?
Oh my gosh, Kempire was talking earlier, thinking that I was on because I couldn't hear you, but now, yes, we are live and indirect.
Yes.
So, I just want to be Wendy's mouthpiece for a second because I feel like she gave these girls a lot of grace. So let's start off with Jazelle. Jazelle, you're only cool with me because you don't want to be labeled a colorist again. So sit down. Angel, Miss James Earl Jones, you only want to be cool with me because you don't want to be labeled a colorist too. So don't try me next season. Kay, we are not wasting the budget on you next season, so it doesn't make any sense for me to talk about you this season. Sit down. Stacy, you're a liar, but we're cool, so we have to continue this alliance. Ashley, remember your only accomplishment is that you lie down with a white corpse that gave you a tiny house and an Uber Eats card, so you can sit down too. And then finally, Karen, I am 10 toes down in my stuff, and you are 10 toes or 10 fingers down in a Cosmopolitan. Have a seat. See you next season. And whoever else I forgot, they shouldn't even be on the show. That's it.
Thanks, Scarlett J. Wow, well, that was a read. That was a read. Guys, thank you so much for being here for our Real Housewives of Potomac live recap. It's our final recap of season 10. If you missed it and you're just getting into Potomac, be sure to check out our playlist and watch our recaps. They go all the way back, not since season 1, whenever the pandemic was. So maybe like season 5. Yeah, they go all the way back to season 5. So be sure to check that out. And don't forget, we have a live show happening here in New York City on March 13th at the Green Room 42. Tickets are still available. So in-person tickets are still available. Meet and greets are available. And don't forget, there's a live stream available. So no matter where you are in the world, I get it. Some of you can't come to New York. Some of you don't want to come to New York. Some of you don't want to come to the States. This is your opportunity to be a part of the Kempire After Dark live show, because this is the only show I have planned for 2026. And who knows, it could be the last show that I ever do, because you know how the world is on fire. Just saying, you never know. You know, hopefully not, but it's the last time that we're together. Let's do it big. Okay? Let's do it big. Anyway, ticket information on the Kempire After Dark live show, where I'll be spilling tea, you'll be spilling tea, so get your questions together and make it good and make it juicy. All right? And especially if you have tea. All right? Yeah, just so much to talk about, so much to unload, right? Anyway, So I will see you guys on March 13th. Ticket information and any sponsor information will be available in the description. And don't forget to subscribe to the Kempire podcast. You can hear our live recaps and special episodes there as well. Make sure if you're a subscriber that you've given us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Thank you to our King's Guards. Thank you to our channel members. Thank you to our subscribers. And those of you watching in the bushes, all right? Get subscribed because you're missing out on a lot of content here on YouTube and Facebook. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/TheKempire. Make sure you're following us there as well. Shout out to Melissa who's watching us there as well. There is no live chat for the live stream option, unfortunately. At least not the last couple of times that we've done it. So I don't know if they're going to change that. But then with a live chat, then you got to do moderation and things like that. People could be all kinds of problematic and attacking each other in the chat. Then we're going to need moderators for that. So enjoy the live stream, okay? Enjoy the live stream, okay? Ticket information, again, will be available in the description. I'll see you guys at 3 p.m. Eastern, maybe a little bit after, because I have to watch the episode of Married to Medicine, so stay tuned for that. Thank you to the 1,320 of you that have already liked the video. We appreciate you. And if you're part of the replay crew, be sure to let us know how you would rate the reunion, how you'd rate season 10, and how you'd rate part 3 of the Real Housewives of Potomac reunion as well. All right, I'll see you all in the next one. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, y'all. The buttons don't want to work now? What's going on?
Here we go now. Here we go.